Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Flintlocks and Fireballs, where a handful of mad actors will attempt to survive the treacherous waters of Dungeons and Dragons. I am your host and Dungeon Master Jason Phelps, and I am joined, as ever, by Sam, Pony Princess Burns, Robbie, Rhino Regent Bellekom, and Ellie, Paleo Patrician Sparrow.
Nice.
What's that mean?
Excellent.
I mean, in this case, it would mean that you are the head of some sort of like Renaissance merchant family, and either you are a dinosaur or just like really into a diet where you eat unprocessed food.
A really not that good for you diet.
Yeah.
Turns out the longer people do it for, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it turns out we invented cooking for a reason.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, it's not just unprocessed food. It's like, I think there's a big emphasis on certain food groups. I can't remember which ones. I feel like it's like loads of protein and like not much else or something.
I feel like it's not historically accurate either.
It's not. No, it's a bit rubbish. Yeah.
We're into the sort of like Atkins fad territory, yeah.
Slightly,
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
Speaking of fads, will gazing into the future ever be a fad that runs out of fashion? No, because it was never in fashion. Which is why we're going to gaze
cool.
into the mist of time and demand. Future us, in the present, is this in fashion? No, but you'll always be in fashion in my heart, past me. Of course, since I'm future you, that's just being conceited. Back to you, past Jason. I have no idea if that's going to elicit a response that makes any sense or not. I never do these days.
I mean, it just depends what you fancy on the day these days, doesn't it?
It really does.
Be a happy little surprise for yourself.
Sometimes you want to do something weird. Sometimes you just like, no thanks, I'm good.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
And on that cheerful note, it's time to begin Flintlocks and Fireballs. Our land stands on the sabre's edge.
Our cities are a powder keg.
Brother chains brother, no one's free. A life on land is short, you'll see.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.
Previously on Flintlocks and Fireballs, it's time for a little downtime. And while quotation marks relaxing in between their various adventures, Scamp has journeyed with victory back to the Cirrus Citadel, that place where we spent like 40 episodes or however long, in order to investigate their new wings, which they've received as sorcerers, like wings in this architectural sense rather than just growing wings. And
Which is a shame.
Amongst other, well, I mean, Scamp created a sunduck, but we're not going to get into that. In addition to creating a giant glowing
judgmental
duck,
sunduck.
a judgmental sunduck.
Yes, I forgot about the judgmental bit.
Yeah.
Good band name, Judgmental Sunduck.
Yes.
They also met up with the echo of the Smith. Thank you. Weirdly, I could remember Yapatos, but not the title.
Nobody else remembered for a second.
who proceeded to go into a lengthy and somewhat confusing metaphor about how you are neither a bird nor a fish, but something in between, a duck.
A duck.
Yeah.
Victory's complaints that ducks are birds fell apparently on deaf ears. Now, while there, you decided to focus your new instincts, or at least, your presumably pre-existing instincts, which have now received some guidance, on trying to create a magical item that would allow little Corzin to fly or
Not
at least float and arrest his fall in the event of indeed falling from great height. And having a sort of design in mind inspired by sycamore seeds for a hat, you also need a source of magic to serve as the base. As you determine, nothing, although it seems that you have some astonishing powers of creation within your wing, nothing you create within that wing can leave the wing. Any materials that get any materials you bring in, you could presumably transform, though exactly how remains to be investigated. And you can make things using the resources of your wing, and then take them back out. But as demonstrated when Victory attempted to bring a platter with some wyvern steak from her wing into yours, it just immediately turned into smoke and vanished. You therefore, upon...
What if you eat something and then you leave?
Then you'll... Well, it depends how long you've waited.
Do you smoke burp?
Yeah.
Sorry,
After a
the
few
important
moments,
questions.
after I'm going to say that there's a moment in this actually while finishing off the wyvern steak that Victory possibly considers this, and you both have a moment of realizing maybe you should bring food here. Regardless,
What about people? I mean, people can leave because Shanti left. Shanti was made there.
Was she?
So,
Were Shanti's parents made
I mean,
there?
to be fair,
I don't
yeah,
know.
but what about Shanti's grandparents? At what point does it stop being?
I
Also,
mean,
is Shanti?
the material that made
aren't all your-
Shanti...
the
Like, I feel like if your
Yeah,
parents are
but
from
your
outside...
body replaces everything basically over a period. Like your cells are all replaced over time,
Yeah.
over like 7 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
weirdly, there's a logic of people who were descended from outside people still counting as outside makes sense to me, because they weren't fabricated by a sorcerer, they were made by...
But everything they've eaten, and all of and it was all
don't know.
then made from stuff.
I'm going to be
yeah.
blunt here. You
Yeah.
have no idea when
Parts
the
of
giants...
us that were food
Frankly,
that we ate weren't violently ripped out of us when we left. So
Yeah.
I'm going to put
We
it this
have
way.
that.
You have precisely zero idea how much material Rhea stole from the world when she abducted the Cirrus Citadel, let alone the 5,000 years, I think, in which other sorcerers were able to bring stuff in to their own wings. There's certainly some level of confusion going on there, and but it would appear that enough of Shanti's biomass was composed of real materials that she'd survive the transition into the next wing.
Conservation of energy is a bitch sometimes.
none of us violently lost parts or our lunch, so I think
Yeah.
we're doing all right. But we're going to be a little cautious.
Thinking back on it, you do remember some moments of feeling like a little lightheaded when you stepped from one wing to another, but like clearly not enough that so if anything did happen there, clearly you had not, taken in enough magical molecules for this to be an issue. Let's just say that
That'd be a horrible way to kill a person, though.
Horrendous.
yeah.
Just keep them there for like 6 months, feeding them only stuff from the magic world, and then shove them through the door.
That's so horrible that...
That's going in the notebook somewhere.
I mean, it's going in the notebook, but it's also so horrible that I kind of have to say that the architects of the Sorcerer Wings, which at the very least must have included Rhea, but you don't know if there were others, probably thought of this.
Yeah.
So
I have.
I mean, Scamp will not
that
have.
Clever.
Scamp will not have.
That,
But
that's a Robbie thought.
Yeah, Scamp will not have. But I will say that in future days during this downtime, Scamp... I mean, okay, would Scamp just conjure up a bunch of sweets and food and so on, and like cakes and shit and eat them?
Yeah. 100%.
Scamp, I'm going to say...
Scamp's never thought about how digestion works.
Jumping a little into the...
Eating sweets feels good.
Yeah, a little bit forward ahead of what's happening, about to be happening this episode. I'm going to say that during this, Scamp, you do notice that, like, although you get full, like, you know, you get full on this sort of food, you get unfull very quickly, and after... like a day or so, like after about a day or so of like eating all of these magical cakes and sweets and so on, you realize you're really hungry. Like you're putting the food in you, and it's filling you up, but it's not getting rid of the sense of hunger.
I mean, what Scamp's reaction to that will be eating sweets and cake until they are physically so full they're about to be sick, then jumping into the next room so it's undone and they feel fine, and then repeating the process.
Okay, what happens is you jump into the next room.
You are the worst.
The sweets and everything and the physically unfull sense goes, boom, you're no longer stuffed. You are still weak from hunger.
Oh yeah, no, they'll eat normal food as well, but once they've discovered that they can eat till they're sick, undo it and continue to eat. That is going to be a good few days.
Okay, Scamp, please add to your notes for your wing that you apparently have created a chamber of gluttony.
Sometimes Scamp is a phenomenal godlike being, and sometimes they are a small child. And I really like the juxtaposition.
You've essentially created the magical vomitorium.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, there'll be some other poor echo in the next wing. Just every now and then, Scamp will run in giggling until they don't feel full anymore, and then run out giggling again.
It's so dumb.
What is this game?
This is a stupid game. I
mean,
love
you
it.
can-
Let's play more.
You can pick which wing it is, so like, yeah, I guess it's really up to you who you want to annoy when you're doing this. But that's it.
That's quite a decision. It's a shame Magnus is dead.
I mean, probably the Smith or the Mentalist would also probably enjoy it.
Probably.
The Mentalist enjoys it the first 3 times. The fourth time, you... One moment. Okay. The fourth time, you enter... you step into what appears to be a small wooden box as you giggle out, slip, and then an ox and a swarm of bees starts going at you, which you think might be a subtle indication that the Mentalist is, well, at least one. Actually, yeah, no, it would be an ox and one giant bee goes for you.
I can't make it a word.
It's the box. And one giant bee both begin harassing you. You get the feeling the Mentalist might be tiring.
I'll just rotate through all of the wings.
You're the sorcerer that turns up, giggles, and leaves every now and then in all the wings.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Moving back to the present, however,
Sorry.
you
That was my fault. I take full
No,
responsibility.
that's fun.
It was very funny.
Moving on to the present, however, you realise you are going to need a wyvern. You either need a
Balls.
wyvern's egg,
Nah,
or
we're
you
going
need
full wyvern.
a full wyvern, dead or alive. Preferably quite freshly dead. Like, you don't know if the magic will keep if it's like, you know, if it's gone like a week without being preserved.
Well, I've got the
Gentle
there's
repose.
Yeah.
Gentle repose. Yeah.
Exactly. So,
So yeah, same sort of principle.
like, you genuinely don't know. So, Victory informs you that she is not joining you on this one. Frankly, you are more than partly you're more than capable of doing this yourself, and also she wants to take some time to try and investigate her own
giant
thing.
judgmental duck.
Yeah.
She's
got
got to
to
make
Gotta
her own
work out
duck.
what the giant judgmental duck is for her.
I'm not building a giant duck, Scamp.
What? Why not?
You've got a giant duck already. I just feel like I was copying.
Okay. Well, I look forward to your giant glowing animal.
She just smacks her own forehead for a moment. Anyway, I'll see you in a couple of days. Or whenever, because I do still need you to take me back later.
Yeah. No. I'll be coming back when I've got the wyvern, so I can give you a lift then.
Thanks. She gives you an awkward nod and a look up at the duck. The giant glowing porcelain duck glares judgmentally down from where it's casting light above. She sort of steps slowly backwards through the golden archway into her own wing and closes the door. So, how would you like to go about catching a wyvern?
I'm gonna go find Corzin and Celestia.
Halfling Dad, where are wyverns?
My wyvern.
You
I'm not going
teleport back to
hunting without my ranger.
Daddy, I want a wyvern.
and yeah, very quick, very soon, Celestia Corzin, you are collared by Scamp with a request.
Hello.
Hi.
So the other day was really dangerous, and I have an idea for how to make things less dangerous for little Corzin in the future. But I need a wyvern.
A wyvern?
Yeah,
A whole, one?
A whole one.
Right.
Dare I ask what for?
I'm gonna make him a not falling to his death accessory.
Out of
Right,
wyvern
okay,
skin?
I don't. No. But I need a wyvern to make the magic work.
Oh, like fighty?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Can you do that now?
Well, I can make things in the citadel.
Corzin is already suiting up.
Right.
The Smiths talk to me. There's this whole thing about how I'm a duck.
You're
A
a
duck.
duck.
Yeah, but now I need a wyvern. It
Rainbow
made sense
Spirit
at the
said
time.
we were a duck once. Why is this a theme? What do you
Is
think? Is
this
Scamp
the-
a duck? Oh, look at the spirit.
Like, the Rainbow Spirit tilts its sort of like echo of Celestia's head. I mean, they're not a duck in the way that we're a duck. But they
We're
are kind of
also-
a different duck.
We're also not a peopling fish or a fishing person, right? Like you said. something
Doesn't
like
strike me as
true.
particularly duck-like.
I guess they are a duck.
that. Rainbow Spirit says you are a duck, but not in the way that we are.
Different species of duck.
Yeah. Well, I feel it would be one of those like fancy ones, and you'd be
Well, there's
like
lots
a
of
little
different
fluffy one.
waterfowl.
I'll be one of them little yellow ones that you put in a bath.
Yeah. I'd be one of the
I
ones
never
with the
quite
stupid,
understood
like,
what the purpose
feather
of
thing
those
on it.
was.
The what?
Where do we find a wyvern?
Yeah,
Never quite understood what the purpose of ducks in the bath was.
so they can have a little swim.
Yeah, they like the water.
Yeah, they do. Why would they be anywhere else? That'd be silly.
You got a point. Right, so, wyverns.
The Underdark have ducks in their baths.
What do we put in the baths in the Underdark?
I mean...
Poison.
Do you have bat baths?
Poison?
What are water creatures?
I mean,
what are we
like,
weeds?
blind, sightless
Beetles.
fish, mostly.
Beetles. Big what
Oh,
about big
eyeless
water
fish.
beetles?
Oh, and the beetles that pulled the carriage.
Oh,
Not
yeah,
carriage.
you can have it. You can have...
Boat, because it's
have
on the
a-
water.
Yeah, like a
Do you
little...
have, like, giant water boatmen?
yeah,
Yeah.
like a giant water boatman type thing. Might be an idea. That might be something instead.
It's like we have inexplicably yellow rubber beetles. That's what we have in the Underdark.
Great.
Yeah. And what was the
This
other thing we
makes
just
perfect
said?
sense.
Just-
Within the water thing, I've forgotten what we just said.
Eyeless fish.
Oh, and the fish without any eyes. Yeah, those ones too. They're also inexplicably yellow. I don't know why they're yellow.
But they go under the water, don't they?
Not in your bath. They float like they're dead.
That's really awful.
Yes, it
That's
is.
so awful.
The Underdark
That
is a
is
terrible
absolutely
place.
horrible.
I can see where the
met
drow would
that.
come up with that.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are the worst.
Rubber ducks are much nicer. Floating eyeless fish, not so atmospheric for a nice time in the bath. Just saying.
I can imagine.
Wow.
I'm sorry, you asked me if a rubber thing floated, it went under the water in a bath or it floated. Obviously it floats. It's a dead fish, isn't it?
That's so terrible. Where
It's
do we
terrible
find a
water.
wyvern?
I don't know.
Well, there might be something in a local almanac.
All right.
Who's Almanac?
Why is there something in them?
You're right.
Are
It
they
does
okay?
sort of sound like a name, doesn't it? But no,
Almanac,
this is
yeah.
yeah. No, this has information in it about various different habitats and climates and whatnot. So we might be able to figure out where closest to here is a natural habitat for wyverns. I'm
Yeah.
going
All we
to
need
roll
is
a
some
nature
sort of
check.
manual. We need like a manual for creatures or monsters. Only such a book existed.
Like a folio filled with fiends.
Hang on. Clara's got a fucking monster book. She had one.
That's
right, yeah.
I was round for a date last night. She had a monster book with monsters in it.
Well,
That-
seems like
That's right.
a fairly good place to start.
A very good point. All right.
They might be busy. They've got a lot of work on at the moment, both of them.
I don't doubt it.
But I will say that
Yeah,
you
but
are,
we're their favourites.
amongst
Yeah.
other, you are able to borrow. I'm going to say you're able to borrow Clara's book. Although Clara's book is largely written in
Codes.
code,
It's in hag code.
in
yeah.
hag code. But I will say that I will let you have advantage on that nature check because someone does have, some texts that text and the like that may be relevant here.
Okay.
Right, who's got good nature? Has anyone got
do.
good
Not
nature?
me.
I do.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Corzin's
I'm glad.
nature father.
Wait, one of those was a natural one, so I'm re-rolling that.
Excellent. Good start.
Okay. So that's a double dirty 20.
Okay.
Doubly filthy 20.
Dirty.
You borrow the book, and it's honestly astonishingly intriguing and basically useless for the most part because as you I mean, first of all, it is thick. Like it is thick. It is dense. There are countless entries depicting all manner of horrifying monsters, most of which are dubiously real, highly fantastical in nature, even by the standards you're used to, and also largely in a mixture of code and languages you can't work out. In a moment of frustration, you end up just trying to find anything of value within this thing. You end up, I'm going to say, just like banging the table, hit the corner of the book. It flies into the air, flaps open, smacks you in the face, and then when it lands conveniently on an image of what you recognise as a wyvern, a long.
All right, I think I got it.
How do you do this?
What?
How do... Never fucking mind.
The image in question depicts a dragon-like creature. It sort of sits in a place, in that sort of classical place, somewhere between some of the dragons that you've seen pictures of, or indeed rarely seen, and a sort of bird of prey. Unlike the six-limbed true dragons, with which you have occasionally seen and even conversed with,
Had tea
with, wyverns are four-limbed, with their front limbs being spread, being dedicated to a pair of broad wings covered in feather-like scales. The one depicted here has iridescent scales that go from a sort of almost rainbow sheen black to a more sort of brightly coloured peacock-esque collection. However, they have the same sort of wide, toothy, draconic mouth and sort of head shape, horned head shape you're familiar with. They have the picture depicts ones with. You have actually, I believe, seen wyverns before, so this matches up to your experience.
Yeah, we have.
You can see the powerful clawed hind legs and the long and notably barbed tail. Most of the text is frustratingly encoded, but it's not one of the hard codes. This is literally it's just annoying. It's written backwards. You have to tilt a mirror at it and to read it. But it is written in Jovan. So I guess, yeah, because you're reading from Olga's notes here. You get a few interesting. You get some. You do get some information about where wyverns might be found. And about their nature, and what appears to be some detailed instructions on how to milk one for its venom, and also a recipe for either some manner of hag potion or wyvern soup. It's not clear. So let's see. Things that you find out, first of all, is, and Olga's notes go into some length on this, the poison is pretty friggin' deadly.
Oh no.
This is because wyverns are horse-sized and tend to hunt creatures of equal or larger size to themselves. Interestingly, unlike dragons, which are notoriously solitary in nature, wyverns, you learn, prefer to hunt in packs.
Good.
Indeed. Classically of anywhere from 6 to 12, though rarely it's possible to get weirs of them, which can be as large as 100 individuals, though this is very rare and usually more the result of a migration.
Right, so it's Harris Hawks, but with extra poison. Got it.
Indeed, sometimes they hunt Harris Hawks.
You've been staring at that book for 5 minutes, and that's all you've said. And that was. Why would you do? Why?
Where do we find them?
I'm trying to stick with the important things here. Ah, right. Well, it says here.
So, looking at them, at the notes here, it says that because wyverns tend to hunt game which is their size or larger, that means they either stick to areas with a preponderance of large herd animals, such as wild horses, bison, buffalo, and the like, or they will stick to the coastline and prey on whale pods or dolphins and the like. In general, they tend to avoid very civilized areas because, frankly, settled peoples try to wipe out wyverns wherever possible, on account of the willingness of wyverns to, abduct livestock and people and eat them.
Yeah.
So they tend to be found more in areas of wide wilderness, or areas where there isn't a where there isn't a population capable of routinely fending them off or hunting them to local extinction. They tend
somewhere between pests and apex predators.
In terms of areas that you are looking at, comparing it at a map and talking to some, talking to people around the docks and gathering a little information there as well, you identify 3 locations which are on or close to this continent, which have known wyvern sightings, at least large enough in nature that you could be reasonably sure that in these general areas you can find one, or multiple. The first is actually the I believe it's. If I just check my notes, I believe it's it might actually be labelled the Cinnabar coastline, which is the same coastline that Porto Massidio can be found on. That is the yes, they tend to hunt the creatures Sorry, I had an absolute moment where I was trying to get a map up and forgot how to speak. Don't know if that ever happens to you.
Oh yeah, when I'm doing something
I've had
else,
that.
like 100%, like my brain's like, I'm sorry, we can speak or do this thing, like we can't do both.
Like, I feel like this is the sort of it's the sort of thing you'd think would be nice and straightforward to do, but no. Apparently, it's one or the other.
No, that's fair. I feel like I used to be really good at speaking and doing things when I was a tour guide. Like, it was just like a skill that I developed.
Yeah. And
then it just went.
Bomb, gone
just
now.
Gone.
Don't have it.
Yeah. Like, I've been doing all sorts of shit as a tour guide while I was, like, delivering a fucking tour. But,
yeah.
like, I could almost make shopping lists in my head while delivering tours after a certain point.
That is...
But that is not the case with other normal talking.
Confusingly not on the map. The Carnelian Coast. There we go.
Ah, okay.
So named for its for the large number of carnelians that can be found there.
That's fun.
Yeah. So the coastline, the Carnelian Coast, is known for a wild wyvern population. Closer to home, there is also the let me just check here, the Yamasor Plains, which are essentially these are the open plains that you kind of past. If you were to head sort of south along the river from New Altmark, you'd eventually reach the city of Aptek. And beyond that, there are a series of wide open plains that famously belonged to the Yorchi, and the Yamasor kind of like a chain broke off from them in a more militant response to the loss of those plains. But notably, those plains are thick with bison. No, sorry, not bison. Wrong continent. Thick with buffalo, and therefore attract wyverns, who will go after the native herds. So that is another location. The third location that you hear rumours of from one old sailor / fisherman by the name of All McNack. Says,
Fucking told you, says Celestia when he introduces himself.
Yeah, a grizzled old halfling with an eye patch. Says, I seen. He takes a drink. Wyverns, that's what you're asking about, wasn't it?
Yes,
That's
yes.
right.
You've
Yeah.
seen?
Where have you seen them?
Yeah, I've seen wyverns.
So have we. Where were they?
Well, we was chased by him for a day and a half.
Right.
Fighting him off with nothing but oars and whaling spears on account of all the powder was wet. Because we'd broken him. We'd broken the powder kegs while we were drunk. Anyway, we fought him off for ages, but little did we realise they was herding us like cattle.
Okay, I'm sorry. I need to know how you broke the powder kegs when you were drunk. Did you? Was it an accident? Did you just fancy
Or did you think there was more alcohol in them?
See, well,
Or
there
did you
was
just think it'd be
axes
funny?
involved.
Okay,
But,
so, I mean, I don't feel like you can break a barrel by accident with an axe. Accident.
We accidentally broke the wrong barrels. The little one has the right of it.
Right.
Let's never sail with this person, no offense, but you have too many axe-based accidents.
Yes.
This is why you don't keep the rum and the gunpowder together. It's very, very simple.
That's an important lesson we learned.
Yeah, different barrels, right?
This
Yes.
this halfling
For a start.
among this halfling, by the way, is does actually have a number of throwing axes, some on the wall, some secreted about his person. He's running like a fishing tackle and he basically runs a shop with. I mean, there's fishing tackle, but he's essentially a marine supply merchant at this
This is
point.
the sort of guy that in the modern age would be going fishing with hand grenades.
Yeah. You do actually notice that he does have for sale bottles of elven fire for fishing purposes.
Of course.
In like wine bottles, in my head.
Yeah.
Just for extra, I've not learned from my mistakes. Yeah.
How many times has he drunk those by accident?
He's invented the Molotov cocktail about 200 years too early.
Only the the once.
I assume you had a healing potion on you.
No. How do you think I got this voice?
I just sort of assumed that you were like a sailory man in a shop. You sound about right
I
to me.
assumed you were born with that voice. That is the voice that you spoke.
I used to have the voice of an angel. I sang, and the world would listen to me sing.
The whole world? That's amazing. Could you sing for us?
No.
I'd love to hear. I think there's marketability in this husk. I am a professional singer.
I was going over the far-famed Cardi's Mountains.
Oh, beautiful.
Where were these wyverns?
Not in the mountains, probably. Where were the fucking wyverns? That was lovely. Where were the wyverns?
Anyway, I was right. The wyverns were herding us like cattle
Yes.
towards more of their kind. An island filled with them. On the very edge of that ever-spinning squall.
Oh, good. Was it in the Ever Squall?
No one goes into the ever-squall and comes out.
Yeah, no one drinks Elven Fire either, but here we are. So
I've got a
There's
point there.
a trio of islands just on the very edge of the ever-squall. They call them the Squall Islands.
that's very creative of them.
They do what they say on the tin, which is the islands near the squall.
And they were probably discovered by someone who had been drinking their piss for a very, very long time. 'Cause
Or
they've
Elven
been
Fire.
without outside of land.
Yeah.
And made it back, which was the harder part on account of all the wyverns. But if you want wyverns, you're sure to find them on Squall Island.
Right.
Or the other two islands next to it.
Which are also called Squall Island. Do they? Is there a numbering system?
Greater and lesser?
Middle.
Middling?
You've got the feel of it. There's
Greater, lesser,
great,
and weird.
There's
it's the
Great
middle
Squall
child.
Island, Lesser Squall Island, and Squall Atoll.
What's
Ah,
atoll?
right.
It's
What
like
does
a
that
very
mean?
small island.
Right.
An atoll is just a small island, yeah.
Like a glorified rock.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Baby Island.
Aww. When Lesser and Greater Squall Island love each other very much. Have Squall Atoll.
That's not where
How
islands
long would it
come
take
from.
us to get there?
I didn't listen in school. I don't know how many times I
Everyone
tell people this.
knows islands happen when a turtle gets too big and stays in one place for too long.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Corzin, is that how it happens?
Well, there's definitely more coral involved in the forming of an atoll, but let's not get into
The
it
coral
right
has
now.
to be extra delicious so the turtle wants to stay.
Don't be foolish. The coral grows out of the turtle's back!
Right. Now I understand.
I mean, it has been known.
Okay.
You've seen those fortress beasts.
Yes. Yes, I have. One. I've seen
Turtles
one
that grew
fortress
too
beast.
big.
It was
That's why
very
you've
big.
got to stop them. Also, they're delicious. He licks his lips.
Have you
I
eaten?
had heard
Right.
this.
I'm sorry. What's delicious? Islands, atolls, or fortress beasts?
Or turtles.
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 Haven't eaten a fortress beast yet, but there's still time.
Have you eaten a wyvern?
Yep,
How was it?
gamey.
And parts of them are poisonous, so I suppose you got to avoid any of the gizzard.
Oh, fucking bounce off this guy. Your insides are already fucked up, aren't they? You could probably drink it. It wouldn't matter.
Turns out it's only the venom sac that's poisonous. So we made a game of it. became a
A game out of the
delicacy.
game.
Please explain the rules of this game.
You've got it prepared.
You just eat it, and if you live,
prepared
you win.
wyvern tail. And if you get it just right,
Right.
you can a chef can prepare the tail so it's not filled with deadly poison. But if they miscut even slightly, you'll still be fine so long as you've not got a cut lip or like a tear in your mouth or anything like that.
Oh, so the venom's not poisonous.
No, it's venomous.
What's the difference?
Yeah, but some
Kills
venoms
you if
are
you
also
get in.
poisonous.
Yeah, this one kills you if it gets into your bloodstream.
Yeah. Venom is...
Drinking venom.
Something bites you, you die. Poison is you bite something, you die.
Yeah, but
Now
if you
s-
drink venom, I saw some of it. It's not going to do you much good.
Oh no, Why drinking wyvern venom just it gets you incredibly high.
Okay.
Right.
And how much have you had?
As much as we could before it ran out.
Is it an upper or a downer? That's the real question.
Oh, definitely an upper.
Okay. Good to know.
How are we going to get to this?
How would you
asshole?
describe the buzz?
Ooh, I'd say it's like being filled with an energizing, blinding pain.
Right.
And also the visions. Oh, the visions.
So you're poisoned then. Right, got it. Did you get sweats as well?
Oh, to be
Shakes.
sure.
Yeah, I think that's being poisoned. Sure sounds like it.
I mean, sounds like a wild weekend in Wending some days.
Halflings have good constitutions. You could probably get away with it, couldn't you?
That we do.
Yeah. I, on the other hand, will blow over in a stiff breeze, and I am aware of this. So, yeah, maybe other things.
But hey,
Also, important thing to know about poisons, dosage determines the poison.
This is true.
and hey, as the old halfling saying goes,
What's the old halfling saying? Almanac.
what doesn't kill you is clearly fine.
I always heard what doesn't kill you makes you weird at parties, but that, yeah, maybe.
No, it's what doesn't kill you should run.
That's
was very
oh.
threatening.
Wyverns learn that one.
I think mine's still true, but, you know.
Yeah. How are we getting to these
Hasn't
islands?
tried hard. Oh well, I could tell there's a deep and mystical. No, I've marked it on a map here. That'll be 5 silver.
Thank
Happily.
You receive. I mean, you receive a standard nautical map upon which there is. He has genuinely just marked, circled a small spot, which is labelled Squall Islands. Yeah, it's apparently a known location. It's right next to the giant sort of here be storms circle that is the Eversquall. But it is at least on this side of the Eversquall.
Well, that's convenient.
Almanac, darling, I have one more question. Do you have anything from Squall Islands, or the little one, or the big one, or the middle one, or the little one, or the littler one? Do you have anything from any of them? Any rocks or?
And how
you know,
recently were you there? Because,
shit.
you know, a thing only
roll.
really works for a while.
That I didn't know. Celestia didn't know that, and I've only just remembered. So,
Let's
yeah.
roll a luck check for Almanac.
Loving this NPC.
It's real dumb.
Okay. Sure, why not? It's been a few years. It's been many a blue moon since I went to Squall Island. But I do like to get hold of some of that, the old wyvern juice when I can.
To poison yourself. Yeah. Yes.
It's an
I'm shutting
acquired
up, it's fine.
taste, and by the regent, I've acquired it.
Oh, God.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
In any case, the last set of salty scallywags who went out there brought back some wyvern tails. They're drained dry at this point, but,
You've just been sucking on them, have you?
well, the fresh
Sucking out the
fresh
innards.
one's the best. But you can let them ferment and mature them a bit for a certain increase of intensity.
Right.
Right. How do you feel when you don't have a wyvern tail for a while? Are you alright?
Fine.
Good. Love. You know, worth asking these things.
That's what we got all the other drugs for.
Okay.
Still opens it and then just closes it again.
Just going to update my notes for Newmark to include
This
all
guy.
knick-knack, marine supplies, and also apparently local drug lord.
Yes.
Yeah, the marine supplies is just the
What a
front
dan-
at this point.
Oh no, we know a drug lord. That's a problem. Anyway, continue.
You look back. You
Okay,
glance
the
back.
thing
and
is, he might not be a drug lord. He might just be a
Must be
poison
a guy who
supplier.
sucks wyvern tails in his spare time.
yeah, we're not like you do.
Are they drugs? Are they poisons?
Yeah,
He doesn't know the difference.
but
The
apparently,
line's blurry.
Because he's poisoned himself and he can't fucking see. That's why it's blurry. Is he going blind? Maybe. Or is it a bad trip?
however, for a gold crown, I'll let you have one of the more recent husks. He produces a
How recent?
dried out,
Ooh.
looking stinger tail. Like it's literally just the tip, like just the like scorpion tail, like
The
tip.
tip. Yeah.
Which is, like big enough that he has to use like two hands to hold it up.
Did you suck that
And
yourself?
he's just
Did
been
you?
sucking on these.
You sucked that all by yourself. Lovely. Great. Scamp, is this what we need?
Is it recent enough?
That is
Does
an
he know?
excellent question. I'm gonna say, ooh, well, I got this.
Does he have a sense of time at this point?
I want to see.
His brain's simmering in wyvern venom.
I want to say I got this about 5 months ago. Could have been 6. And it's anywhere from a week to 3 weeks, a week to a month's journey, depending on the wind and the weather. That's about it. The answer to which being for what I'm aware for you, Scamp, is a 6-month limit is
Do you know, man?
on the fence. It might be. It might not be. If it's on date, great. You got no troubles. If it's out of date, it will still give you an advantage to teleporting to the right place. But it's not as guaranteed as actually having it. So it's really kind of a that one's going to come down to luck. It's definitely on the border.
This could be a real problem.
On the other hand, I think it's the best lead we've got so far.
Yeah, but it's in the middle of the... How close to the... It's on the edge of the Eversquall.
Well, looking at the map here...
If we overshoot, we're going to end up in
the Kraken's face, yeah.
Yeah.
Inside the Kraken's head.
That's the more immediate problem.
Oh, I don't know. I described the Kraken as a pretty immediate problem.
If we're just in some water, I can teleport us back.
What if we teleport into the Kraken's mouth?
You see that All McNack has started raising a bottle of something to offer it to you and goes, you've clearly already got your own supply.
Oh yeah, I'm fucked, mate. I better not, you know. But thank you.
You see, he turns to address another customer who is certainly who is interested in both a series of a set of harpoons and also some of the bottles from the back.
Yeah,
I'm
just
just
because we
glad
gave
the
up
other
day
customer
drinking.
exists. Because I was assuming he'd turn to another customer and start talking to them, and they're just not there.
And you too.
Okay.
I mean, what? How risky are we feeling?
Okay. If
Scamp's
this
cool on
is
this
recent, like if this is fresh enough, then we'll get there no problem. If it's not,
We're teleporting to
we've
the
got a
Kraken's
1 in
face.
4 chance of getting there, I'd say.
Right. What are the other 3? Do you know, or is
Yeah.
it just?
One feels real bad,
Right.
and that's these aren't even 3s.
Right.
I'd say about the same amount of chance of getting it right, maybe slightly less of just being in the wrong area. There's like maybe a small, like maybe 10% chance that we'll just be in a similar area, but I don't know how similar is really.
Similar is an extremely subjective word in this
Any
context.
options that
Yeah.
would prevent you from bringing us back and trying again?
Okay, so
Teleporting into the
there's
Kraken's face.
there's like a 1 in 4 chance that we'll just be some distance away. There's like a 1 in 10 chance we'll end up on an island, but not necessarily the same one that we wanted. Like it might be a different island covered in wyverns, but not the one we were aiming for.
Well, that's geographically significant.
And
I
then
suppose
there's like
that'd still do it.
there's like nearly a 1 in 2 chance that we'll just have something go bad and we'll get hurt.
Well, that happened last time. Does that reduce the chance of it happening this time, or is it like
No,
a
and
new
that is
chance?
not what happened last time. Last time we were just off target.
Fucking what? That last time.
When I
wasn't
say we'll get hurt, I mean it will. The process will fuck us up. It will physically hurt. I can feel that might be what happens now. Now we've done this a few more times, I'm sort of getting the grips with it.
right.
It will actually do hurting to us.
Suddenly smoking a pipe of tobacco out of nowhere. You don't know when quite she got it out.
Was there anything we can do to reduce the chances of that happening?
Yes. We could have something that's a little fresher for definite.
But the halfling who poisons himself doesn't know when it's from. So
We could look at it with magic, and that would actually do nothing.
you know what? You know what would actually really help? The Eye of the Storm. That would really help. If
I
you
mean-
could look at, like, you know.
Well, the thing is, I have to look at it, so.
Oh, no, but I mean,
honestly,
what-
seeing
what-
it
what I
once
could
will
do
do
is-
nothing.
No,
If I
what
saw
I
it
mean is what I
several times,
If we could look at the Eye of the
That's
Storm, we
fine.
could look at the past of the object. We might be able to figure out when they were there. But
yeah.
yeah. Equally, unless one of them said the date while they were stabbing a wyvern in the face, probably not.
Oh, I
also
hate
spend
Petra's
like
Day!
ages studying.
Oh, it's the 7th of falling leaves. What?
If I just like studied the place for ages, like real careful,
Right.
that might help.
Like you just knew everything about it, like you would.
Yeah, if I was
Trivia head,
if I-
but for
yeah.
fucking squall. Apple? What? Squall apple? Was
Apple.
that the word? What was
Squall
the
apple.
fucking word? Apple. There we go.
No, it was apple. It was definitely apple.
Right. How likely is it that you're going to sit and read a book about squall apple for long enough?
I mean, is it in that atlas that you bought a while ago?
Oh, I've read all the atlas, so like
That is
I know where it is on the map.
How long would it take to be very familiar through study?
a place you have carefully studied is an interesting one. Because, like, seeing it on the map can't be enough on its own. Because you have a map. You have multiple maps.
Yeah.
We'd
Which
just be familiar with
just
everywhere.
point to the location.
Yeah, that counts as description.
Yeah,
which is...
you've seen it. You would need... Okay. I think that there's like a gradation here between seen casually and very familiar. What I'm going to say is that assuming that this wyvern stinger is legit from Squall Island in the first place, and that the highly dubious halfling is not either scamming you or being scammed, then, and it is out of date, I would say that having that automatically upgrades it from description to seen casually in terms of odds.
Okay.
You have an item from the location, but you've never been there. Like, yeah, we're going like so.
Yeah.
So it's not as good as associated object within the last 6 months,
Yeah.
but it's a stronger tie than no object at all. So
That gives us a nearly 50% chance of getting there.
yes. So
That's great.
yeah, ordinarily, it is also ordinarily, however, you would, I'd say, if you were able to get like pictures or probably more than one picture or one very detailed picture. And like, especially if it was authentic, of Squall Island, that you were able to study for at least a solid day, or like something more in depth than just the location, like an encyclopedia entry or anything like that, you would ordinarily be able to get that up to from description to seen casually. That if you can do that plus the object that you've got, I'd say you can get to very familiar. Or of course, it might be that it is from within 6 months. You just don't know. It's very on the line.
Hooray.
Well, like I said, Scamp, it is your call.
Okay, if we can find me a book with a picture I can look at, give me a day and we can do that.
All right.
Okay.
I think we can get that.
Okay. This is... I think this is probably an investigation check at this point, because it's... maybe, arguably, it could be nature again. Because it is geography based. So I guess either investigation for plumbing through bookshops and libraries, or nature again, still plumbing through bookshops and libraries, but like, focusing on, but with a nod towards like that sort of geographic specialization.
Cool. I mean, what's your nature?
My nature is +6.
Mine's
Okay,
+3,
so we've got the same.
maybe.
I've got +6 in investigation, so we've got the same numbers basically. For
Yeah, I think I'm less than either of you. Oh, no. Yeah, I'm +3 investigation now because I've not augmented anymore.
I'm just proficient. I ain't smart. So which one do we? I guess let's go with nature because if you roll a 1, you get to re-roll it.
Fair enough.
This isn't the thing where I could give inspiration, is it?
I mean, you can. Like, it's a skill check. It's one that happens over a long period, but, you know. I'm going to say that, you know, over the course of this day, you probably spent...
I'm like the friend who brings him snacks when he's, like, trying to learn stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to read, but I do go out and, like, buy him study snacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Corzin will very much appreciate this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Corzin and Scamp hit... Well, not yet hitting the books. Hit the libraries to try and find the book, and the bookshops to try and find a book.
Celestia attempts helping in the first place and then realises that she isn't this sort of person. And just turns up with snacks now and then.
Alright, roll that nature check.
Okay, that's 21.
Okay. You... So, I'm going to say you have bugger all luck finding any books on this. However, during the midst of all of this, you take a break, following up some leads, teleport to Porto Omicidio, have that whole fucking encounter with Gummy, and as you are
I
finishing,
guess I'm having a date at this point.
yeah,
then.
like
Yeah.
as you are doing, as all of that is happening, Celestia goes off to investigate some stuff with the Urban Guard, actually, potentially as well.
Yes. Yeah, potentially.
We'll
figure out.
We'll figure that out.
If they're away for a couple of days, that's all I'm doing. Yeah.
And in the midst of all of that, you find you take the opportunity to while you're walking around, you notice that there is a painting on the wall of the. Okay. You notice there's a painting on the wall of the Merman Milkman. It's one of the few. Frankly, the Merman Milkman, as taverns go, is one of those classic pubs where the walls are just covered in stuff.
Yeah.
Like Ethel has, over the course of her life, and presumably any previous publicans' lives, collected all manner of things and then nailed them to the wall. And one of them, you realise, is an oil painting of... who the fuck would have the patience to do that as an oil painting? You... Actually... Right, resident artist question.
Yeah.
You are an itinerant sailor.
Yes.
You catch sight of a foreboding island in the distance, which you don't spend a huge amount of time on, but you spend enough time sailing by that you get, looking at it through a spyglass, probably no more than 2 hours to observe it in detail and capture the basic elements of the likeness.
Am I like a good artist?
You are a good artist.
Like I can sketch fast.
You can sketch fast. Would you do this I mean, okay, I know whether you would do this as a watercolor or an oil painting. I mean to say, rather, would it be impractical for them to have taken that sketch and then made it into an oil painting with a decent likeness, or would they go for a relatively quicker medium like watercolor?
Relative to oil, it is quicker. I mean, it's not inconceivable that they could have done a quickie watercolour sketches to get the colours and stuff and then done an oil.
All right. In which case, I'm going to say...
Because, like, watercolour isn't a quick medium for everyone, but for, like, sketching like that, you'd get the colours, you'd get the light, you could get the shapes,
and then
you
they could have done it into oil later.
Yeah.
I'm going to say on the grounds that I'm just thinking in terms of what will probably have survived a 30-year interim
If it's... I don't know about
in
watercolours
a
at this... under glass, maybe? But, there wouldn't be a lot of sunlight. A watercolour under glass would probably be alright, but it also depends what pigments were used, if they were cheap or not. Like,
I'm going to go with...
oil is more set that it would have lived.
I'm going to go with oil.
Varnished oil, yeah.
So, you do see an oil painting, the varnish slightly yellowed from 30 years of time, from decades of time. Although actually,
I was just thinking as well, if I was a sailor and I wanted to do painting on a boat, I'd do it in oil. He could have had a sketchbook though that he then closed so that the salt didn't.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with oil for that.
Oil. If he did it on his boat journey, it's probably oil.
Yeah. So you do see a, small by this, like not tiny, like probably, comparatively speaking, probably between A4 and A5 in size, oil painting. Nestled amongst the many knickknacks on the walls of an ominous-looking island, flanked by a second smaller island and a sort of rocky-looking atoll in the distance, being in the midst of a storm with waves crashing against it, and you could, what at first glance you might have taken to be flocks of birds, but you can actually see now, you can make out from the way that some of them have been artfully captured by and illuminated by crackling lightning. From actually, now you realise the entire behind of this is one just continuous storm. Are flocks and flocks of scores of wyverns.
Hey, Gummy, you ever been here?
Oh boy! There we go. Gummy.
Thank you, Sam.
Mixed them up.
Sorry, I had to.
I appreciate it. That was a genuine thanks. If it sounded sarcastic, it wasn't. I'm very pleased that he's back.
Looks like Greater Squall Island. If we left the Squall Island and Squall Atoll in the background there. Never been on to it, but I've been close. Close. Yeah.
I'm not there. That was 2, 3, 4, 4.
Any trouble with wyverns while you were there?
Oh, absolutely. There's hundreds of the buggers. It's one of their breeding grounds.
You don't say.
The beggars get there, they fuck, they lay tons of eggs, and then the little ones pick up things like tuna. And then when they're big enough, they fuck off across the sea and start harassing coastlines. I tell a lie, actually. I have been to Squall Atoll. That was the safest place to land. You wouldn't expect it, but there's actually some hidden little cove there. And I went... See, the reason is, sometimes you just need to milk a live wyvern, which required for you to capture one.
Or I've heard people use the phrase milking the wyvern like biting the bullet.
That's one use. There's also a very dangerous group that try to use it to get high. Don't mess with those guys.
Said the most dangerous halfling in the world.
But no. Whenever I needed to milk a wyvern for its venom,
You do.
I'd use the old poacher's twick. Get a tuna? Or some other large animal? And just paint it with... with some sort of sedative. Any kind of suitable sleeping draft.
Paint a tuna. Okay.
You leave it
Sure.
on the atoll. The wyvern comes in, it starts eating, it gets sleepy, falls over, and then you can restrain it and start milking it for venom.
Yeah, I can see how that would work. Although, rather them than me.
It's the word milking.
Right.
It's just kind of rough, isn't it?
With that kind of stinger, though, it's probably more like, gently massaging, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I don't want
Got
to
to use
think about
both
massaging
hands.
or what. No,
Like,
this got weird.
Like Corzin, he has quite small hands. He's a halfling. Like the wyvern, the scorpion tip, the tail tip of the wyvern's stinger is about the size of a human head.
Just the tip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To say nothing of the whole, shaft behind it. So its flexible nature.
You said it's like a scorpion tail, so is it segmented?
It's actually more like in a weird way, what's coming to mind is like a giraffe neck, but that's not quite right. It's more corded and muscly, but the tail is reminiscent of a scorpion's in that it has a sharp stinger and a sort of bulbous bit where the venom sac is contained.
Right, yeah.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Bulbous.
But yes. And now, if you don't mind me, I'm going to finish my brandy.
Bottoms up. Clink.
I can manage it. But yeah, these you've now found a painting. Just to say, going through it, Ethel is reluctant to part with any of her knickknacks, but for 20 gold, will.
Sure, yep, okay.
Reluctant and less paid.
Yes.
Just make a note of that.
Okay. You have acquired an oil painting of... you've acquired an oil painting of Squall Island. Squall Islands, because it's got both Greater, Lesser, and Squall Atoll on it.
Oh, that might look good in the in the stateroom.
Right, well, I'm gonna go stare at this painting for a day.
Do what you gotta do, Scamp.
Scamp, you spend a day studiously examining this painting. Interestingly, once it's taken off the wall and you get it back to, you get it back to the ship to examine it, you find that it can, the back does actually come off the frame, and enclosed within are actually a series are the original sketches done in watercolor, which include a number of elevation sketches that were not used in the final sort of front-on depiction of the three islands, but because they were clearly taken as the ship was passing by, essentially gives you like almost like a 180 degree view of all three islands from multiple angles. So collectively, this is enough. Studying all of these let you get a very good visualization of Squall Islands, enough that you could that you think you have a good chance of trying to like teleport to a specific portion of the islands.
Enough that we might just not like enter the campaign.
Yeah.
Just land on the Kraken's face.
Hello. Oh, guess it's the
Or just
final
wind
battle.
up in the middle of the squall, just like surrounded by torrential winds and rain.
This is fine.
Yep.
This is so fine.
Yeah.
It would be the "this is fine" meme, only we're surrounded by water and lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
have a better than 50% chance of that not happening now.
Better than 50%. That's fine. Fine.
Is it? It might be. Oh no! It is now a better than 50% chance. It was a worse than 50%
Yeah.
chance before. You've now got a.
Oh boy.
You've now got
This is
either a 75% chance of getting there correctly, or a 100% chance if it turns out the
If it turns out he's not full of shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And the fun bit is, if we get there safely, we'll never know.
We
We
won't.
have no way
Yeah.
of knowing how full of shit this man is.
No. We will literally never know that. We can pick up a rock and we're there and then we won't have to do it again. But we will literally never
Yep.
know.
Well, a thing occurs to me actually. If this is a landmass, even a very small landmass just outside the Eversquall, and we can go there at will at any point,
Well, that's
We
not-
could
not
leave, like,
useful.
caches there for when we arrive with more ships. Have supplies slowly, deposited there, like safe-like.
That's very
I was
red
just
string
going
of
to
you,
write
Corzin.
big
Well
rude
done.
messages in the sky. Just like put a big sign up saying Kraken smells bad.
Krakens are rubbish.
Yeah.
That'll tell it. Yeah.
Corzin lasts for a little bit too long at that.
All right. I guess the three of you gather together. I'm assuming all of you are coming.
Yep.
And Scamp, you hold, kind of clutching the dried out wyvern stinger and the oil painting as a reference. You cast the spell. Black walls surround you, and you are encircled. So, first of all, I'm going to do this in reverse order just for fun. First of all, can you roll? Yeah, just roll me a d100.
This isn't anything like either of these are things, not things that inspiration could do.
No.
Are they? I didn't think so, but I figured it was worth asking.
This is 78, so
Okay. And just for fun, can you also roll me a luck check, please?
Lol.
9.
9.
Oh boy. Okay, so And lastly, was there a specific portion, like which bit of the islands were you trying to get? Were you trying to aim for a particular bit of the islands, or just like on the islands?
The bit, the small one that was described as like safer.
Okay, so bad news.
Yeah.
It turns out that that wyvern, that bit of wyvern tail, 6.5 months old.
Oh no!
Good news.
No.
Your other preparations meant that that you lucked out and didn't end up somewhere else.
Campaign.
So, with
Everything's fine.
This is
Apparently
really
it is.
sensible.
so with the walls sort of the wind spins, the black walls come up around you, and then crumble down as you are met with the sudden rush of wind, the sound, the roaring of gales, the crackles of lightning. And you see the world open up around you. Can I have each of you roll me a luck check, please?
Oh
Yep.
no!
Oh boy.
Okay, 15.
2.
2.
Okay.
Wow.
Scamp, you...
Not making me want to teleport more, folks.
it's fine. Scamp, you find your appear on solid, albeit slippery, rock. Not just that, but comfortably, but sheltered rock. You find you appear in the midst of, in a sort of like little crack, on like a flat portion in a crack that is running up the side of this atoll. Basically, this pillar of craggy, somewhat grassy rock that is spearing up out of the water. Not only is your footing stable, you are sheltered from the winds and from the scores of wyverns all around. Some of which are circling above, beyond, looking for prey. Many more of which you can see from here are clustering in little holes and crevices on the sides of the much greater Squall Island that rises up nearby, like cliff birds. To one side, you can see the sea stretching out under like dark skies for a bit, but which soon give way to bright sunny skies beyond, albeit ones with seas, waves still wrecked by high winds. And to the other side, there is a wall of continuous wind and rain.
It's like that split.
Oh
Wow.
yeah, it is. Like there's just a point. Like there is a point where the winds just get stronger and stronger, and you can actually see where the Squall Islands end, because erosion from like little bits of grit or dust or dirt being pushed along by that eternal storm have actually like ground the near end like sides of all three islands to like not a perfectly flat plane, but they're like a very steep and obvious cliff. This is the Eversquall.
Cool, we're seeing this.
Yeah.
Corzin and Celestia, however, both appear on ground, but not nice, level, stable ground. Both of you appear like Celestia, you appear with 1 foot on a thin bit of ledge, and the other in thin air, and much more, and kind of because you're all essentially on the same level, as it were, that you were on, whereas when you were teleporting. And the rock is slippery, and you are being pelted by rain. Corzin, you appear within arm's reach of the cliff edge, of the edge of the rocky atoll cliff face, but not standing on anything.
Oh no!
So
We are in the storm.
you are not in the storm. You are at the edge of the wall of Eversquall, which means I'm going to need both Celestia and Corzin to roll some dex saves.
Okay. Natural 1, but lucky.
Natural 1, but not lucky.
Fuck.
Oh,
Can
yeah, shit.
I help
We both rolled a
anyone?
2, and then we both rolled a 1.
Yep.
Oh!
It's an 18.
Okay, Scamp, sorry, you started saying something?
Yeah, if someone's about to fall, can I grab someone or try and help or
You can try and make... I mean, yeah, I guess you can. You can try and make an athletics check. And pick which one you want to try and grab.
Celestia, because I
Cool.
figure Corzin generally will be able to help himself.
I do suck more, that is.
Oh, shit!
I cannot read this dice. Excellent.
Keeping it mysterious.
The-
You could have rolled anything.
Well, it's either a 4 or a 7, so it's going to be bad regardless. But I'm trying to find the other one. So
Okay,
I
so it's
can
below
know
a
what
10
that
then,
was.
is the important
Yeah,
bit.
so it's going to be a 3 or a 6.
Cool. You try and grab Celestia as they appear. Celestia, you have 1 foot on the ground, 1 foot in the air, and suddenly you have neither foot in the air as
Damn.
you turn, slip,
Fuck.
and start falling. Okay, so I guess we're going to do this. I mean, roll. I mean, okay. First of all, Celestia, do you have any bonus action or reaction type spells or abilities that could help right now? And
Very
I
little
guess
is a
the
bonus
same
action.
question to Scamp or Corzin, because if you're going to, because of the way terminal velocity works, if you're going to act before Celestia falls, this is the window. You do not have a standard action's worth of time.
Right, okay, assuming that my action is
Oh,
to
yes.
grab onto something.
Yeah,
and with an
Corzin,
18 I succeed.
Corzin, you appear in midair, reach out, grab hold of a craggy bit of rock, and because it's got that as an anchor, as like a pivot, you swing, you smack into the rock face, ow! But you manage to get a solid hold and grab on with your feet. So
Right,
you're not
bonus
falling.
action, grasping vine.
Oh, good call.
Oh, good. I got nothing, so I'm glad somebody has.
All right, that is. Did you make an attack roll or?
Nope, it's dexterity save, or you can willingly choose to fail that, I guess.
I'm assuming that Celestia
Yes,
willingly
get
chooses
help.
to fail. All right, so you grab hold, snap, look down at the at Celestia as she starts to fall, and the ambivalent octopus manifests a tentacle, lashing out and grabbing Celestia by the foot.
Yeah,
As
and
you-
pulls them 20 feet directly toward the vine.
Which I guess, is going to
Is the octopus, or like right next to me, I
yeah,
guess.
pulls you right up to the alcove. So, Celestia, make another dexterity save, please.
Okay, that's better. It's not a 1, so we're doing better. I've forgotten what my text is. Give me a sec. And my saving throw for 18.
Okay, you don't actually end up prone then. I will say that you get the octopus grabs you as you fall, flings you back up, and you manage to grab hold of the edges of the crevice and stabilize yourself, rather than ending up like in a heap against the rock. Albeit with a bit of a false start, all three of you have successfully managed to stabilize yourselves against the against this crevice. Up above, you can hear the distant sort of sounds of wyverns. The younger ones are doing the with the larger ones doing more sort of.
Oh, that was close.
Why are there always cliffs? Why are there so many cliffs in the world? I hate cliffs.
They haven't spotted you immediately, but there's no guarantee. How long this you will remain unseen for.
We only want one.
Just one, yeah.
How do we get one's attention?
Well, what we do is we get a tuner and we paint it with sedative, and we wait for it to get it. In a cave, was it?
I'm going to say with...
Or we could do literally anything else.
With your... Honestly, with the party's passive perception alone, you can see that this crevice kind of runs up the length of the atoll. And the atoll itself is mostly just like a thick spear of rock rising out of the sea. You can see the other two islands because you're kind of facing them. But you can also see that this crevice goes up the length of the atoll and has a number of little bolt holes sort of naturally carved into the rock just from wind and time. You can also see where it would go down as well to little points close to the sea. So there are a number of places where, well, at any rate, a halfling would be able to climb up and into and lie in wait for a wyvern. Less of them where an elf could, but there are at least points of shelter. So
what about a rainbow glowing elf?
That might be that might be a giant lure for dinner. Speaking of which, that has reminded me that you are in fact a giant glowing elf. So your current cover does remove the advantage to this check from you. Okay, just seeing whether any of them have spotted you yet. Okay, they have not spotted you just yet. Probably because they're looking out to sea for food right now.
Anything I can hide behind?
The
hiding.
The whole there are plenty. There are in fairness ample
you just said
opportunities for hiding. Yeah. But you will need to actively make a stealth check if you want to try it.
Yeah, I'll take cover.
Yeah,
I'll
let's
do
do
that.
that.
I have disadvantage, but I'll do it anyway.
Cool.
Because I think I have to be actively doing something to like negate the disadvantage these days, don't I?
You do.
That's not fucking bad though. Right. It's a dirty 20, shockingly.
There is conveniently high enough that you can reach it without having to do more than a little bit of scrabbling, or rather low enough you can reach it without having to do a bit of scrabbling. A larger hole with a sort of natural overhang on it, which is just about big enough for you to crouch in and remain almost entirely obscured. In particular, it makes you very obscured from above.
Lovely.
It's enough for Celestia to fit into. If the pair of you want to hide, please make your stealth checks.
Yeah, I rolled it. 24.
Yep.
25.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, the pair of you are easily able to get into smaller holes nearby. So you've now all three of you have now got very good sort of hide spots. You could like the hunters you are today. You are now.
If I were here for a minute, I can start making myself
on a
properly
wyvern
invisible.
hunt.
I'm very scared.
Do we actually need to catch a big one?
We're going to catch a big one. We can't go over it. We're going to teleport around the problem.
A little one would do.
Unfortunately, a little one would not do. You need an adult.
Oh. A little adult wyvern.
I will say that you certainly have a minute, so Corzin, your natural camouflage.
Okay, I'm gonna hide in plain sight,
Yep.
which I must have access to fresh mud, dirt, plants, soot, or other naturally occurring materials.
I mean, you have
You're
access,
just doing like a Peter in the Hunger Games.
basically.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
Arnie
Wow.
and the Predator.
Yeah. You have.
Peter in the Hunger Games is funnier because
Yeah.
it makes no sense.
I mean, you have access to wet rocks and crabgrass, but it's enough.
It's just piling them up in front of myself and with a tiny little peephole out, and I now have plus 10 to my stealth.
Oh my god,
shit.
just make like a fucking ghillie suit on the go.
Okay,
Yeah, basically.
Ranger.
Yeah, there's a load of crabgrass on his tricorn now.
Oh wow, yeah, absolutely. Nothing is you're not you know where Corzin is, and you're not sure if that's where Corzin still is.
Okay. Is Corzin, are you still there?
Through your sending stone, you go, yeah. Shh.
You didn't get eaten or anything. Okay,
No,
great.
I'm still here. I'm just very still and covered in stuff.
What are you covered in?
Molly's gonna love that.
Corzin will very slowly just sort of turn around and say, alright, you see that hopefully inconspicuous looking bit of crabgrass over there?
No.
That's me.
Because there's grass everywhere.
There's a lot of grass.
You've just said, do you see that nondescript patch of grass? No, I fucking don't see the nondescript patch of grass.
Alright, well
Do you
just
see
trust
that
me, I'm
bit
still
of
here, I haven't gone
water in
anywhere.
the sea?
You see that what?
Bit of water in the sea.
That nondescript wave over there. Yes, I see the one. It looks like Corzin disguised as a nondescript wave, doesn't it?
How are we going to attract a single wyvern?
Does anyone know a wyvern mating dance?
No, and why would that only attract one?
Well, it could. I don't. Shut up.
Wyverns are very monogamous. Okay,
They're all attracted to different moves, Scamp. You've got to shake it.
What
So
if we
you just gotta
sent
get
a little illusion in front of one of them?
Yes.
That'd be
So
good.
it wasn't big enough to get everyone's attention, but it was like, oh, I'll follow this thing right in front of me.
An illusion of another sexy wyvern? What
No,
do you want?
no. Like, I don't know, a bird or a fish or something. The fish in
A
the
tuna
air.
that
would be-
you painted.
Small
How
crayon.
smart are
Yeah,
they?
great.
Like,
A
Are
sort
they
of.
stupid?
I don't know.
I
I've never
mean,
talked to one.
you did find Olga's notes. Her notes said they are. Yeah, her notes compared them to. Actually, her specific notes was some of the most cunning predators. She seemed to think they were bestial, but on the very sharp end of bestial.
yeah, because she had one, didn't she?
No, she had a cockatrice, didn't she?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can also fool a person with an illusion, though, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it's if we made a little flying fish, is it going to go, fish don't live in the air?
I was just thinking like a dead one flapping about. You know how they do little fish flaps and bounces,
Yeah,
like
flop,
coming in our
flop,
general
flop,
direction.
flop.
Yeah,
Yeah. That could work.
flopping along. Or is it a floppy fish?
A floppy fish?
Yes.
Or just like
Yeah.
a flying thing right in front of its face?
A bird would probably make more sense, wouldn't it? Does anyone know?
I don't know why fish...
It's
But
plausible
I wanted
bird,
fish
seagull.
for some reason.
A
Plausible
seagull.
birds.
Seagull will
Oh,
work.
yeah. little
Surely.
gull.
We're in the sea, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seagull will work.
The seagull that Marjorie was for a while, that one specifically.
I'm assuming Marjorie and Jeffrey aren't here. But if they are, please correct me.
You know, I've left Stormy on the ship.
Yeah, I figured Stormy wasn't coming on this one.
No. She would hate it here. She'd be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've probably left Jeffrey. Marjorie is pigeon right now, so...
So,
Yeah,
up to
no,
you.
not bringing Marjorie here.
Okay, good. Marjorie
Marjorie
is
is flying dinner.
But yeah, a little seagull that looks like Marjorie did at one point. Just stands in front
Recognise
of
that girl. Rude.
yeah, whatever wyvern. I'm using her as a muse. What's you wanted an illusion? There's one right there. What's your fucking problem? And just like looks at whatever wyvern is nearest, dead in the eye, and just goes, ah!
This a major image?
Yes.
Got it. Alright.
Should probably actually keep track of my fucking spells. Not doing anything sensible.
Concentration for 10 minutes, that's fine.
Yeah, it's
Up to 120 feet away. So you want the bird... Did you say you wanted it perching somewhere or in front
Standing in front of it, doing a little wiggle and looking at it. And
Okay.
hopping away
Then fly back over
towards
here.
us. Yeah.
Alright, do you want to... So in terms of it, are you going to try and put the goal like in like the place you're intending to jump the wyvern, or are you going to put it like try
I
and
want to
lure
like
it from...
lure it. To
Okay,
us.
okay. So you make it appear that this seagull like has sort of fluttered up from behind the crevice and perches on the edge of some of the craggy promontory, complete with crabgrass, and nearby there's any number of wyverns flying by, but one of them does immediately spot this basically like a small morsel, and decides, hey, free food, not going to question that. So they immediately swoop down with terrifying speed and snap their jaws right over where the gull is. That was an actual 20. So they do it before you can react.
Wow.
So fortunately, they they swoop through the space where the gull was. So in a sense, they swallow it whole. I'm just going to check what happens when someone...
Major image is not that good, I don't think. Seems completely real, including sound, smells, temperature appropriate. I don't think it's touch. Is it touch?
not touch.
Don't think
Weirdly, smell.
Yeah. Smell and temperature.
And implicitly, therefore, taste
Yeah, I guess.
is there. Like, it's gonna... So it'll notice that something... So it has a chance to notice something just went wrong there, because it's just snapped over it. But let's roll an intelligence check for the creature to see if it...
And we're back to fake magic food.
All things come back there today, apparently.
Okay, the wyvern snaps its jaws through where the gull was and kind of continues its sweep up. Up to you whether you keep the goal there, because you can still control the illusion. There's a brief moment as the wyvern passes through it.
Well, that definitely happened. I'm going to try pretending.
A new one.
Can I make a new one? I mean,
You can control the illusion. The
Yeah.
wyvern kind of swoops up and starts circling around again.
oh, if it's still circling around like it's not bothered, I'll carry on with the plan, I guess.
Okay, it kind of swoops around and then notices that the bird it just ate is still there. Kind of...
I make the seagull cackle.
tilts its head a little bit at that, and then swoops down and kind of lands with its hind limbs on the rocky promontory, like just hold with very assured grip. Tilts its head. And starts what's the, like it's in front of the pigeon of the gull at the moment. Do you start sort of
Let's hop it over.
you start hopping the gull
where we
towards
wanted it.
where you want to this sort of like ambush position. And the wyvern slowly starts moving towards it.
Do we do our ambush now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably
can I-
should before this.
We'll just hit it.
Can I
I'm
guide
gonna-
them to close to where I am?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say that it lands initially 40 feet away. It starts slowly approaching, gets to about 30 feet from your hidden positions. If it gets within 10, you'll be in a position to like sort of jump it. There's like the point where you originally teleported in would be a perfect ambush point for it to get to, because it would be very difficult for it to fly
Because it's
within
next to
that
the storm.
crevice.
Yeah.
And also just because of the high walls next to it. But it doesn't immediately go there, even though the gull starts tipping towards it. You notice another wyvern circling above tilts its head. And starts circling lazily down towards the other one.
Bugger, what do? We get through your little stones.
Right. Once it is close enough, Corzin will deploy the net gun.
Okay, I am going to say, though, it's stopped at 30 feet away from your hiding spot. It's not getting any closer.
Okay.
And the other one is slowly circling down to join it. Like a second wyvern is coming in. The wyvern seems to be like, it's sort of... Actually, no.
Out of character question, can you
Yeah.
alter the illusion once it's up?
Yeah, you like Celestia can make the illusion change shape, be
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
whatever
If
they
you
want.
if you ask,
Yeah.
she will do whatever.
Right, yeah. So, Celestia, can you do something to scare that other one off?
What, like add another one? Legitimately, can I? I'm a bit.
But you
stuck on
can,
the
but it has
rules.
to be within 20
that's sort of the
feet.
clarification.
It has to be within
It has to
20
be no
feet.
larger than 20-foot cube. Okay, so I could. What would scare a wyvern?
Another bigger wyvern?
How big are wyverns? That's my question. 'cause,
In fairness,
it's a good
wyverns
idea, but like, how big are
like
they?
horse-sized. So
Not a 20-foot cube, then.
so no.
That
So,
would be a
so
very
about,
large horse.
yeah. That like you could do something that was indeed twice the size of a wyvern in every dimension.
Okay.
So arguably like 8 times the size of a wyvern, depending on how you count these things.
A nasty, fucked up looking wyvern, like it's all wonky and spidery and grumpy.
Okay,
Like it has a strong look of Mr. Almanac, but it's a wyvern.
Okay, like, how do you make this appear? Like, how do you justify the wyvern's sudden appearance?
It just sort of like emerges from the floor.
Oh,
Like it's
okay.
like it was like buried, like it's covered in there's
okay,
like dirt
the rock
sliding off it.
splits.
Yeah.
And this fucking like alpha mega
Manak.
wyvern, alpha manak, mega wyvern, like comes up. It's full of. It is huge. It's covered in scars. It's got
Something
one
about
like
it's,
across
something
its
about looking
eye.
at her. It just says something. It just says like, "I'm gonna suck the innards out of your tail and get high."
Yeah, it's like missing one eye with like a jagged claw mark down it. And as it bursts up and lets out a sort of roll an intimidation check, please.
Oh, I like those. Please don't be shit, dice. Oh, 29.
Yes.
Fucking terrifying.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. That is, if you rolled anything lower than a 25, the biggest local wyvern would have immediately come to challenge it.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
It's just like real weird. Like it's uncanny valley scary rather than like big and intimidating. Like it's the sort of thing that like the biggest local wyvern might be like, yeah, I'm good.
yeah, so the wyvern that was coming down to investigate, fucking like goes nope. Just nopes out of there.
Just goes like whatever that is, I don't want to catch it.
It tells the side, it was like beats its wings, turn, flies away. Other wyverns, like as it's roaring, notably give it some distance. These wyverns are like, oh fuck, a dragon's turned up or something. Like we are not dealing with shit. The only exception is the wyvern who smelled a rat. About this whole fucking goal business, who instead launches itself at this weird, like, trickster wyvern. I mean, yeah, it would have been
Try
like
and dodge it, but
I mean, and you do the trickster wyvern illusion. You know,
Skitters away.
effortlessly. No, just skitters backwards. It like sort of like beats its wings and pulls out of the way as the wyvern jumps down and sort of lands where that wyvern was in the little crevice, which it's very difficult to fly out of. So now you can spring your trap.
yay!
Yay!
Everyone gets essentially a surprise round. What would you like to do?
Okay.
And if the wyvern's still alive at the end of it, we'll roll initiative.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do we have advantage because of
You
being
do.
all stealth and stuff?
Yes.
Lovely.
Right.
I'm going
Net
to
gun.
arbitrarily assign a turn order just for the sake of it. Corzin.
Right. Net gun, run up to it, jab, jab, jab with the stun button.
Okay, please.
It needs to make a dex save DC 13.
Got it. I mean, I guess surprise rolls, I would say it do it with disadvantage. Okay, well.
Well, it can't see me.
Yeah, that's true. No, I'll go with the disadvantage. Probably good for you that I did, because it rolled a natural 20 and a natural 1.
Wow. Okay.
So,
Drama.
yeah, as it bursts down, you spring up from hiding, shoot the net gun, and it kind of flares, spins around to attack you in such a way that perfectly tangles it up in the net, pinning it against the crags and completely tangling its ability to fly.
Okay, it is now restrained.
It is now restrained, and yes, please roll your follow-up attacks with the stun baton.
Okay, that is going to be a 22 for the first one.
That hits.
Okay, so that is 8 bludgeoning damage and a further 2 lightning damage. And the second one is 19 to hit.
Yep.
For a further 8 bludgeoning damage and a further 3 lightning damage. And I don't think it can take reactions now.
Okay, and no reaction. reactions. That's good to know. All right, well, that's Corzin's go. Let's go to Celestia next.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
How many other wyverns are looking at my fucked up, janky, druggy wyvern?
Anywhere from a quarter to 3/4 of the ones you can see. The fucked up janky wyvern is pretty obvious.
I better leave it janking then, really, hadn't I?
Yeah.
Oh, you
Like
see,
they
this
are
is-
keeping back from what appears to be like some sort of like someone foolishly challenging this outsider.
This is the sort of fight that I'm slightly rubbish in when I'm concentrating on a spell. Because it would be a really good time for Call Lightning, but that's concentration, so I shouldn't.
Up to you.
Better not, I think.
Like, depends
If
how-
it's keeping all the other wyverns away, I think
that's
I'll
up to
leave
you.
it.
Yeah.
We don't want to do Dissonant Whispers because that makes things run away.
It is actually
Yeah.
capable of running away right now because
Oh, it's
it's
not!
strained. It's
Oh shit,
connected.
I'd forgotten that it would. Thank you for the reminder. Yeah, that's irrelevant. You
Alright.
look stupid all tied up. Dissonant Whispers.
Whoa, it's
It
heavy
does
on the
look
ones
stupid all
today,
lined up.
so that is a hit.
Okay.
Roll damage, please. And it tries to
Let's do a level
scrabble.
2 if that's.
Yeah, it tries to scrabble away, but can't because it's tangled. It just tangles itself further into the net.
Okay. 10, 12, 17. I think. Yeah, 17 psychic damage.
Okay. Got it. This thing is pretty hefty. It's it is like trying to take down a large armored, angry, flying horse. But in fact, really, the only thing it has in resemblance to a horse is that it's horse-sized, and if you're an absolute fucking lunatic, you could try riding one.
Long
But-
face.
Yeah, but it is, but it is reacting to the, like, it's reacting. It's flinching in pain.
Wants to run away.
Yeah, it's not happy. It's not like by any means seriously injured, but you can tell that the beating it's receiving is making an impact. Anything else in your go, or are you?
Yeah, I'll give Scamp inspiration.
Nice.
It's very stupid, but I think it's going to be fine.
Scamp,
Inspiration.
over to you.
Hooray. I will do a... What spell levels have I got? There's a 6. I'll do a 6th level chromatic orb.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Roll attack with advantage, please.
That is a 29 to hit.
Yeah, that hits. What
Jeepers.
type of damage do you do?
Okay, I know nothing about these in terms of what damage immunities they might have.
Yep.
So I'll go with cold because I feel like that one wouldn't be relevant to it in any way.
Yeah, fair.
Okay. A
'Cause
swirling vortex of ice bursts from your grasp and smashes into it, causing its feather-like scales to splinter and crack. Roll
Causing
damage.
me to go hunting for D8s.
Is it sort of
Okay. 19. 20, 28. 33. What is that one? That's another 8. 41.
Wow.
Ooh,
Look at you.
yeah.
is a good
okay. That is, that's okay. That does seriously injure it. You can see that blast, its flesh immediately develops frostburn. Parts of it split open, freeze over. It is bleeding, and that just seems to freeze a fair bit of the fight out of it. But don't worry, it's still got fight to spare.
Can I quicken another
You can.
attack then? While I'm here, I'll do an Eldritch Blast.
Yay.
Go for it.
Don't have advantage. Oh no, it's restrained, isn't it? Is it restrained?
Yeah,
It's restrained,
it's
yes.
restrained. It's restrained.
Cool. So I got advantage.
Yep.
Oh, that's another 29. So yay. And 28. I rolled some nice ones on that one, and then that's... What's that? That is a 14 plus 10, 24.
24.
That's all. Those are to hit.
Oh, yes.
Because
Those
it's 3 blasts. So
18.
so
24.
damage won't be as.
Yes, that hits.
Yeah, they were all. 24 was the lowest of the.
Oh, okay.
three.
Yeah, no, they all
a
hit.
hit.
Roll damage.
So that's only 11 damage. Not brilliant.
Okay.
Still, you did over 50 damage before the turn order began.
Yeah, that's not.
Well,
Nothing,
that's what a
nothing
surprise
to-
round's for.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
why I used a 6th level spell.
Yeah,
Very good.
Nothing to sniff at. Now, roll initiative, please, everyone.
Okay.
I forgot we hadn't done that. We're confused for a second. Oh, that's shit.
17.
Ugh, 9.
What is my... I can't remember any of my numbers today. That is 8.
Okay. And okay, Corzin. What is your dexterity modifier?
+5.
Yeah, okay. You win the tie, which means you go ahead of the wyvern.
Okay.
Yeah. So Corzin.
Does Corzin have the same dexterity as a wyvern?
No, Corzin has better dexterity than the
Cool.
wyvern
Yeah.
Fantastic.
with a +5. I forgot about.
Yeah, his
I forgot
dexterity
how
score is
fucking
20 right
fast, Corzin is.
He'd be nimble. Not so quick.
Yep.
Yeah, you see the
Not accurate,
wyvern
little legs.
is like starts bringing up its stinger, which frankly combined with its stinger plus tail is bigger than you are, Corzin. And thrashing, preparing to try and stab you. But before it can do that, you're able to act.
Okay. Seeing that the ice damage from Scamp's chromatic orb seemed to do well for it, Corzin is going to close. Well, actually, he's already in melee, so he's just going to whip out the ice blunderbuss and give it a full barrage straight in the face.
Okay.
So that is going to be a 22 to hit.
That hits. Roll damage.
Okay, for 46s. More of them.
Just picturing the conversations that Corzin and Molly must have at the end of one of these days. How was your day, dear? Oh, shot a wyvern in the face. How was yours?
Yeah. Okay, that's 19 cold damage.
Do you get a follow-up attack?
Yeah, I mean it's a weapon that requires 2 hands, so
Yeah.
presumably I'd need to reload that, so I will just do a
if you want
a
to just
single.
I was gonna say if you want to just try and pistol whip it with the butt or
Yeah.
anything as a follow-up.
Yeah. I guess that would be a D4 plus Dex, wouldn't it? Okay.
Give it a little
Right.
slap.
Right, that's a 27 to hit for a further
Jesus.
8 bludgeoning damage.
Cool. So
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
pretty much as it's thrashing, it's rearing its tail up to get you. You unload the magical blunderbuss in its face,
Yep.
blasting portions of its like freezing and then shattering one of its eyes, like smashing through shards of ice smashing through portions of it. There's this moment where it's like blearily swaying, opens its mouth to try and just swallow you, and then you turn the blunderbuss round, whack it across the temple, and its one eye rolls up, and it slumps to the ground. Bearing in mind that you used the first 20, nearly 20 points of damage you did were with the stun baton.
Yep.
You have successfully rendered this wyvern unconscious and helpless. It is now entirely at your mercy. So I guess Scamp.
Should we go? Let's go. Can I take
let's
it?
go.
Get it all the way
Can I
down.
now
Is this
take it?
enough?
Now it's yeah.
Can I hog tie it?
You
it's in the net.
You gather
Yeah,
together
I guess
the bits
it's in
of
the
net.
net, so
Yeah.
I'll just tie the net off.
You grab the net together, and as we discussed off air, if a creature is actually helpless, then you can teleport with it regardless of whether or not it's willing.
Yeah.
Right, cool.
So yeah, this is good enough to take it.
Excellent.
Like Celestia, you scramble out of your hidey hole.
Oh, looking like grumpy pigeons in the rain.
Yeah.
Yes.
So grumpy.
And as the wind and rain whips around you, and the fucked up almanac wyvern is roaring intimidatingly at the sky, Scamp, you you stand between them and the downed wyvern, raise your arms, and the swirling winds coalesce around you. The black walls rise up. And we're just going to transition for a moment to a third-person sort of view as, roused at last from her cave, the largest, most badass motherfucker of these wyverns, emerges from Greater Squall Island. Sails into the air, letting out a shriek in response to this scarred interloper. A strange black ball appears nearby before crackling. The interloper inhales for another roar and then just pops like a soap bubble. After a few moments, someone spots a tuna. And everything returns to normal on Squall Island.
We're a small blip in their day. Yeah.
That's a very confused wyvern.
And we'll pick up, not there, but on the other side of this particular transaction, after these, no doubt important, messages.
Sun, sand, and scales on Squall Island. If you've been seeking a tranquil getaway far from civilization, a place where you can get back to basics and reconnect with nature, then Squall Island might just be the place to spend your 2 weeks in the sun. This unspoiled island paradise is waiting for you. The Squall Island Board of Tourism accepts no responsibility for wyvern attacks.
And welcome back. So, with a whirling of wind and the raising of black voids around you, which fall away again a moment later, you find yourselves back in the ship with an unconscious wyvern.
Right then.
Fully sized. This thing is the size of a Shire horse.
Okay, first question, how are we going to get it through the door?
Do we need to?
Point taken.
Oh, you
Might be a little bit.
We really shouldn't have come here. This was entirely the wrong choice. We should have taken it straight to the Citadel.
Was that in fact your goal?
I can't teleport to the Citadel again today.
So
We should not be bringing an unconscious wyvern onto a ship where small children live.
Yeah.
That's true. And you used teleport out rather than teleport circle, didn't you?
Well, I can't teleport circle to somewhere I've not...
Sorry, you've not been.
It takes a minute to do teleport circle.
Right, got it. In which case, I will give you the option for a retcon, because I've apparently forgotten during the break what your actual target was.
If we even stated it, I honestly can't remember. I think it's to the Citadel, because I can teleport circle back from there.
Got it. There is the
fine,
black
no one
walls,
noticed. It's cool.
The black walls of the void collapse down, and you find yourself on the sort of plateau edge by the steps leading up to the huge fake door set against the mountain next to the real entrance to the Cirrus Citadel, along with a huge Shiol-sized unconscious wyvern.
Right, shove it through.
I was worried it wouldn't
Put
fit.
it in.
All right.
Shove it in there.
You drag / roll the wyvern over to the concealed entrance. Scamp, you open it, and the three of you basically pretty much like manhandle this unconscious wyvern.
Just throw ourselves against this button.
Yeah.
To the door.
Along the sort of golden light bridge to the doorway.
What? This is fucking heavy.
Oh, you know what? I've got a spell for this.
We're halfway along the bridge. Why did it take you this long to remember that?
I've had a long day.
Haven't we all? Why am I leaving us fucking drenched? Just let's sort this out. Dry ourselves. The hair puffs back up.
Thank you.
I'm gonna cast telekinesis on and use it to lift this unconscious wyvern up.
The unconscious wyvern, which has acquired a few more bumps and bruises, not that it's in any state to be conscious of them, from being dragged along the floor, gracefully, ungracefully levitates into the air, and the rest of the way to the door.
Probably for the best anyway. Unless it doesn't matter if it's mildly concussed.
I don't think it's going to survive the process of being turned into a hat on us.
I hadn't specifically thought that. But
I mean,
no.
I don't think
I
I'd
feel a bit
survive
bad
the
about.
process of being turned into a hat. So that seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah, it seems, yeah,
Yeah.
it does, doesn't it?
What is this hat for?
It's
Why
for
did we do
stopping
this?
a small child dying.
Oh, yeah, excellent cause. No, I'm all the way on board. Lovely.
Yep, very much in favour of that.
You float the wyvern, the wyvern's unconscious body over to the doorway to the Cirrus Citadel. There's the briefly the illusion of Thea appears, and then sort of seeing that you're busy, like you kind of wave at it and it disappears. Like it starts the pre-recorded message and then just sort of gives up. And using your power to reset where the entrance is, you push open the big golden doors, and Celestia Corzin, you see the doors swing open, not to the desert where you first entered the Cirrus Citadel, but to what appears to be a featureless, at this point, unless you've made additional changes since you were last here, a more or less featureless white
I think there's
plane.
probably a big cage saying wyvern cage, like a cartoon cage.
I mean, is there anything else? Have you left the featureless white plane as well, or is it just a big old cage?
Oh, it's the white plane. It's just got a cage in the middle.
Okay.
And don't forget the giant
Featureless
duck.
white. Yeah, I was going to say a featureless white plane with a blue sky above and a gigantic glowing golden porcelain duck, which is just glaring down at you with the most judgmental expression.
Don't listen to anything that duck says. It's very judgmental.
I mean, this is definitely...
You can feel the quack through your bones. The steel cage up ahead rattles a little.
Wow, this really is your room, isn't it?
Oh, I haven't started decorating yet. We just needed a bit of light.
Yeah.
Right then.
That's really big.
That's, disturbingly so.
And quite a lot
I didn't like
the
that
hook
whole,
duck.
You know the light that just comes from nowhere? I didn't like it.
No, fair. Yep.
Disconcerting, I'll grant you. I'm not sure that's less disconcerting, though, he says, pointing up at the giant duck.
As you step into the wing, Celestia and Corzin, can you both please roll a wisdom save?
Oh my god, it's amazing. What for? Why? Oh,
Natural
it's bad. No, it's definitely not. That's a 4.
Corzin, you're fine. The duck glares at you. Celestia,
What happened?
visions of the things that you feel most guilty of float to the surface of your mind. Like as if compelled by the judgment this duck is putting on you.
Really bad. I feel Celestia. I think Celestia kind of looks like she might have stopped breathing for a second there.
You listened to the duck, didn't you?
I
I said don't listen to the duck.
There's... Darling, if somebody was screaming at you, would you be able to not listen to them?
With difficulty. But I'm a surgeon.
I mean, that's kind of my point, darling. It's... Ugh.
After a few...
How long does it last?
Well, I'm not going to make you roll every round. I just did a bit of a roll to see. But
to see how bad it is.
Basically, after about 20 seconds or so, you manage to quiet the sort of thunderous implications of the ducks quacking in your soul enough that you're just sort of... that you can, like, mentally push past it.
She's like clutching her head, like not very far into that. Ooh, I'm not a fan of the duck.
Yeah, I might try changing how it judges.
Wow.
Maybe I'll make it things that I think you should be judged for, not things that you...
Yeah, this is definitely things that I think I should judge me for, and they're just all at the front now.
Yeah, that feels... like it's not really going to work on people who are dicks.
I'm going to have a little sit down on the void floor. Yep, that's what I'm going to do.
The floor is disconcertingly room temperature.
Would you like the floor to be more comfortable?
Yes.
I'm going to make the floor a beanbag.
Can I have a blanket?
The whole floor.
Yeah, just...
All the floor is
The entire
beanbag now.
floor is being
Imagine, like, a quilted blanket, like, with the sort of, like, sewn in squares, like, repeating squares, just stretching outwards seemingly to infinity, but filled with essentially dried peas, it would be. So it's got that real sort of beanbag feel to it.
Yes, this is better. This is much better.
It's a strange experience as Scamp says that they're going to change the floor and says beanbag because you have to some degree vocalize to make these changes. It's as if there's like a ripple spreading out from Scamp, and the floor just seems to transform from this featureless white substance into an endless duvet of beanbag.
I would like the beanbags to be like, if you enjoy walking on it and think it's fun, it's really easy to walk and move around and fun. If you find it annoying, it's just much, much harder and you sink into it lots.
Oh no.
Like, if you think the whole idea is fun, it is really fun. If you're annoyed by the concept, it's unbearable.
List.
I'm going to have to seriously think where Corzin falls on that continuum.
I think Celestia would actually have a bit of like novelty for the first 30 seconds, and then if it started not being fun, they would get annoyed. But because if it's fun, it becomes easy. I think it would be endlessly fun. Does that make any sense? Like before the novelty wears off, it's like already easy to walk on, so it stays fun.
Yeah, so it's not a problem.
Yeah.
So just give me a moment. I'm making some Scamp room notes. So we've got the Judgment Duck on entry. Wisdom save versus Judgment. And then Beanbag Floor. Easy to walk on if you enjoy walking on it and get into the mood of it. Difficult terrain if not.
Which is terrible, and I love it. Like real bad.
And of course, right now there is a giant steel cage with a plate on it saying Wyvern Cage.
It looks like something out of like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. That sort of style of cage.
You telekinetically swing the door open, float the wyvern in, and plop it down, and close it, and then close the door with a clang, and lock it from the front.
Right, wyvern sorted, lovely.
Brilliant.
Do you need us to do anything
Curled
else?
up on a beanbag.
I don't think so. I think that's now hat making time.
Indeed.
Do you make it like the normal way you'd make a hat, or is there like a phenomenal cosmic power version?
Something to do with fish and ducks.
Why is this such
Fish
a thing
and
with
ducks.
like magic explanations?
Yeah, don't know.
I'm not going to lie. The next portion of your downtime, Scamp, involves you making a hat. So we're going to skip over that and go to Celestia's to what Celestia will be doing with their downtime.
But first, I'll get you folks home. Because I can... I'm going to need more teleport circles.
One thing you can do, though, if you want to do it now before the rest of the party goes, is you can try and essentially extract the magic from the wyvern.
Oh yeah, I suppose I should take care of this wyvern so there's not just a wyvern here.
Maybe you just said the words, maybe I should take care of this wyvern. I think maybe you should do that with other people here, just because it's your first go.
Yeah, okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Right.
Just in case. Like, it'll probably be fine, but yeah, from what you've explained, it sounds insane. So maybe with other people here, just on, time one.
Yeah, right, magic extracting time. Sorry, wyvern.
Goodbye, wyvern. We hardly knew you.
So, Scam, you kind of step up to the wyvern cage, and the advice you've been given by the smith is, reach for your instincts and see what they tell you. So it's not necessarily going to work exactly the way you think it will, but it does matter. What does Scamp imagine extracting the magic from the wyvern is going to involve or look like? Like, genuinely what their first instinct is.
What a terrible question. Amazing.
Kind of like when making an object, like with that spell that's my brain has melted and I can't remember the name of. Fabricate. Yeah, the sort of the picturing it in a head, shaping it in the air, this thing almost like dissolving into like clay and reshaping.
Okay. Okay. That gives me something to do. Right. Make an object with fabricate, picture it in your head, you shape it in the air, the thing dissolves into clay and reshapes. I'm going to say that your first instinct is to just try and do that, like, essentially willing the room, in a sense, to fabricate. But that doesn't seem to quite work. At least not the way that you get an instinct that if you just try and use fabricate on this creature, you're going to get a wyvern hat, and depending on the exact process, a very dead or a very angry wyvern.
Oh, then that's not right.
But there is something to the dissolving it into clay that's resonating with you. Like getting it down into a base material that you could reshape. So, I guess the question is, what sort of tool do you imagine you would need to dissolve it or render it down into like a workable clay or substance?
And does it have to be a physical tool?
It could be.
I'm remembering the disintegratey thing that Basilissa did, and just all the dust.
Yes.
Oh, like with clay wyvern dust. Interesting.
Okay, if disintegrate was the instinct that you had, then that's what's coming to mind. You're getting a ping from that. Now, disintegrate isn't a spell you can normally cast, but you are in your room. So tell me how you'd like to do that.
What did it look like when she did it? It was a ray of some kind, wasn't it?
It was a green ray that seemed to bathe the gold hat, the gold around encasing your hands, and then turn it into a fine dust.
It'd probably be similar but pink.
So, the room. One of the things that you are learning with the wing is to get it to do a thing. You need to vocalize your will. There is a restriction of how the wing works, at least for you. I suppose if you were a character who couldn't speak, you might have to write it instead.
Or sign it.
Or sign it, or similar.
Yeah.
Is you need to vocalize what you want the room to do. It faintly occurs to you that this might be a deliberate design decision on the part of whoever made these spaces to prevent you from, say, having a nightmare and waking up with your entire room filled with nightmares. If you had a
sensible.
Ooh,
People speak in their sleep. Oof.
Yeah.
Fortunately, there is a degree of. You also get a sense that there is intent matters. You need will and word.
Word of some fashion, depending on what that means for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want some wyvern clay, magic wyvern clay. So I guess we need like the dust. If it could just be made of powder, maybe some liquid. We need some form of liquid. I don't want liquid wyvern. That sounds gross.
In what part of that series of statements did you put your will? Or was it all
of it? It's Scamp, it's all of it.
Okay,
is it going through all the various different
okay.
You're talking like those character filters when they speak.
So some strangeness happens.
I love them.
So the first thing that happens is you extend your hand, as you're saying it, you kind of gesture towards it instinctively. And it's not the disintegrate ray. When you say, it should be like, this sort of thing being clay would be useful. There is a pulse of magic from within you that synchronizes with the room, and you sort of and the room's magic sort of channels through you. There's not a specific thing about how this works, so I'm going to say that a rippling pulse of pinkish grayish energy comes out of your palm and impacts the wyvern, which starts turning into not stone exactly. It starts turning into sort of it starts turning into stone, but it's slowly but over a few seconds. So it's like at a halfway point where it's like kind of softish stone, which is like hitting that clay thing. But you're still kind of talking out and thinking out loud, or putting your will into it. So the pulse that has just replicated a flesh to stone spell transforms into a pinkish beam, which hits the polymorphing, the petrifying wyvern. There's a brief moment where its eyelids flutter open, and then the whole thing is
Go to sleep.
completely enveloped in pink light, crumbles into just a pile of wyvernish dust. And then, as you say about, a liquid would be useful. At that point, oh boy, I'm just going to check the spell list for what came to mind here. I think it's still a spell. Sorcerer, I'm a wizard, I think, for this. Okay, I could have sworn Tidal Wave used to be a spell, but that's fine. Tsunami will do.
It is still a... But yeah, Tsunami is basically it.
A rush of... another pulse of water of power comes through and transforms into just a deluge of water that scatters the wyvern dust across the beanbag surface. Before you go, not water, and then and just a sort of wide-scale ray of heat comes out, and the water of that seems to evaporate, leaving you with a finely dispersed set of damp dust with a strange sort of appearance to it. It has the similar sort of... So this wyvern, the wyvern had sort of iridescent rainbow-coloured sort of scaled feathers. And there is that iridescence baked into the fine dust, although because of how spread out it is, it's a lot hard to see. In places where it clumps into the lining of the beanbag, it creates a sort of weird multicoloured sludge that nevertheless feels like it resonates to you of the wyvern's magic.
Great. I'll just gather all that up. If that could all just come here and be a little bit of a ball, please. Please.
You focus your will, and a series of... Essentially, I'm going to say this will manifest into an unseen servant type effect. A little sort of vague, ghostly figure forms out of planes of light with a little planes of light making up a dustpan and brush / scraper, and just starts
It's like I've got my own squinty.
In my head, it looks entirely like, you know, the little housewarming ghost that you crocheted us.
Oh,
That's where my brain's gone. I just had to share. It doesn't have to actually be like that, but I wanted to share that was what my brain gave me. Also, 100 squinties is very fucking funny.
So yeah, this is you're getting. So you're learning something useful, learning some extra things here. It would appear that there are, outside of certain grand effects like the light dark and so on, if there is a spell that does the thing you want done, that is not, say, a permanent effect in some way, the room seems to help guide your magic into taking the form of a spell that you've seen or heard of or encountered at some point in the past. This seems to be much more. This seems to be a very easy. This feels easier on you and your magic than trying to do something like creating the light duck. You have a sense that there's that it is much less straining in some way. Though, admittedly, being in the wing, you can just keep doing stuff like this all the time. It doesn't cost you any spell slots.
So insane, I love it.
Yeah, the sorcerer's wing with a sorcerer in it is so broken. But yeah, just that's a limitation a limitation and a feature that you should be aware of.
cool.
However, your instincts then tell you that unfortunately the next portion is making a hat and somehow figuring out how to incorporate the clay into it. And that's probably going to take you a few days.
Yeah.
With Victory's help.
I am making a propeller hat. The clay is going to be a propeller.
Huh.
It's going to be all iridescent and fun, but that's going to take some time to figure out.
Yeah. So, over the next few days, Victory assists you with that. And I'm going to just narrate this bit while... so after Scamp sends the other members of the party back to Newmark, Victory joins you, and together you work on, making those come to on manufacturing the hat. Victory apparently has completely different instincts to you about how some of this stuff is meant to work, should work, and as a result can do things you can't, or rather can do things in ways that don't hit your instinct. So getting the wyvern into clay, like into dust, into clay, makes sense to you, but you encounter a sort of mental block over turning it from clay into something like that would serve as the propellers and have it work on the magic, whereas Victory has an instinct to, in her room, essentially build a clay kiln, and sort of works to shape the clay into the propeller pieces and then bake it, and somehow that then makes it easier to transform. So yeah, the pair of you working together are able to tackle this from different angles. And do some parts quicker than others.
Oh, because it's material they brought from outside, they can move it between.
Yes.
Yeah, between their two. So I was just like putting that together in my head. Yeah, that's why they're like fun.
So the only you can't move any of the tools between, but the actual object you absolutely can move between the two wings.
Science project.
Science project. So. That is and yes, at the end of downtime, you will have produced the propeller hat.
So cute.
And now we're going to step backwards in time a little bit. Because
Hooray.
these downtimes are all sort of happening alongside each other. So, Celestia.
Hello.
I understand.
What's just happened? Where are we in time?
So these
Are we post-date?
we are kind of. I guess you start these investigations a little before the date.
Yeah.
You have the date, and then you
And
continue
finish
them.
Yeah.
So the broad scope of events here is start your investigation, have a date, continue your investigation, go wyvern hunting.
Yeah. Do a
Finish
bit
your
more.
investigation.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Just putting my brain in the right spots. Yeah.
So, you said to me you want to look into the Ebengard.
Yeah, I want to see if I can find out what's going on with them, where they are, any information on
Yeah.
what is happening there. Because we've been told that they're all coming to Sunder, right? And that's cause for worry. I'd just like to find out what's going on. Also, obviously, locate the fam if there's any kind of information on like that. Or why, just like, basically any information on that whole situation is what I would like to be looking for.
All right.
I don't know where to start.
So you have. So I have 3 approaches that you might take if you think of going some completely different way. Let me know. And these will determine the skill that you use and the information you will receive.
Yeah.
So, if you were to take, if you were to try and look at paper records,
Yeah.
so going to the newspaper archives in this, whether in this city or sending for copies from other cities or the like, or else trying to track down paper trails in other ways, that would be an investigation check. If you want to look at gossip, listen for rumours, especially, then that will be a persuasion type check. And I will also want you to kind of talk about the areas that you investigate in, like the people you talk to, as well, because you're going to get different information talking to sailors and tradesfolk than you are through your crime friends. Your third approach is impersonation. Knowing that you and this is an ability that is made possible because you have access to the Bell founders, who I believe in your meeting with General Appleblossom, pointed out that they do essentially have a tap on Osirian military sendings. So this would allow. So this would be a deception check to try and gather information by listening to or sending false sendings through that network.
That's fun. I don't think I'd start there because I think it's really hard to start impersonating if you don't have any information.
Yes.
I have an instinct, it's real dumb. I think Celestia spends 20 to 30 minutes trying to look at newspapers and then remembers that she doesn't have the Eye of the Storm anymore and therefore her brain doesn't work in the way that she expects it to.
This is fair.
I think that's what happens. So I think there's a vague, half-hearted attempt at newspapers, and then my instinct after that is to look for posh people, go to the sort of high society type ends of town, like people who would hire Ebengard, or people who would be gossiping about, like posh folk and people who fling a lot of money about.
Yeah, so we are talking not Wayne's, the last
They're all
scion,
dead.
the last scion of the Wayne family.
His parents are dead.
His parents are dead,
Vanderbilt.
and so is he.
Yeah, I mean,
But yes, indeed, there are the Vandasars. I don't know.
did we piss them off? I can't remember anything about them. When did we do
So
anything?
the Vandasars were the group that you broke into the tomb, the family tomb of, I
do
believe,
that.
Yeah.
to steal Grinzy's sister's body and then resurrect her.
Yes. Yep. Did they know that was us?
I don't think they do.
Don't believe they do.
I don't think they have any reason to.
No.
I mean, we never got anyone on our tail for
I feel like we'd be in a lot more trouble if they did.
I felt we'd be
Yeah.
in so much trouble. Oh, they were horrible as well from bringing her back.
They really were, but yes,
But that's exactly the kind of person that I'm thinking of. Like horrible posh people is what Celestia associates with like people that would know about the Ebengard. So like people who keep track of these things and hire, mercenaries. Like that's the inn that I have an instinct for. That could be completely the wrong instinct.
no.
Can you ask Lady Grace for her social calendar?
I mean, Lady Grace is away for the week, isn't she?
Yes,
So
Lady
that's,
Grace-
that's the reason that I'm not going to her. Also,
Yeah.
I might get different information not from her.
Yeah.
Is part of
Yeah.
the reason I was
Yeah.
wondering. Because, we found out that those rings, do something else than she said they do. And that's concerning. So I think Celestia's feeling a bit not trusting and wants to look for herself before she asks.
All right.
Basically, that's the vibe of why I want to investigate.
So this is going to... It's an interesting position to be in. Because I'm going to ask you to roll a persuasion check. Now this is I'm trying to think of whether or not to... No, we're going to do this a little more interesting. I'm not going to just apply... I'm going to apply a disadvantage to your first check here for reasons that I will explain.
Okay. I trust you.
Yeah. And then we'll see where that takes us.
Okay. I mean, it's possible I'm just not posh enough these days. That is, could be a thing. I figure she's pretty posh. Oh, I mean, one was a natural 20 and one was a 17, so it's ridiculous. But it was persuasion, right?
Indeed.
So that's mathematics. Oh my god, who am I? 32.
Wow.
Oh.
I really turn the posh on.
Okay.
I am a snooty little drow. I just wear my clothes because I figure they work as eccentric posh person clothes.
Yep.
To be I don't get changed, I just act a bit differently.
And the audacity of this plays well. You have enough charisma to pull it off. That you are a little... you are in your own right a celebrity.
Actually, I kind of am in this town. Yeah, we are all a bit famous, aren't we? I use that.
Yep.
You lean on that heavily, which works in your favour. So this has some interesting effects, despite the fact that you personally despise the Lieutenant Vandasar.
And high society as a whole.
You generally despise high society as a whole, and you personally
Is
despise...
Luchetta the mum?
Yes.
Oh no! This was a bad idea. How exciting!
Yeah, and
Let's
you
fuck around and
very
find
much
out there. Cracking.
personally detest Lieutenant Vandasar.
Yeah, she is awful. Yeah.
Who...
She effectively had Grinzy murdered, right?
Pretty... Grinzy's sister, yes.
Yeah, Grinzy's sister. Sorry,
which
the little
is
one.
Svetlana.
Svetlana.
Yeah,
there we
she
go.
essentially had Svetlana murdered.
Yeah.
Her main regret was accidentally killing her son in the process.
Are the Sunset Girls still in? It was the Sunset Girls.
Yes, the Sunset Girls are
They're still in town, right?
They're still in town. They're
I
Fisher
send
Kings
them
now.
a little message and just say, investigating. Going to look like I'm cozying up to the Vandersars. Promise I still think she's a bitch. Basically. Like, yeah. They get a little notification that that's happening, because I
So
don't
you
want to...
probably send that to Tanya, who is their mage, and she replies back, understood, thank you for the tip-off. Best of luck. Feel free to steal anything while you're there.
It is actually slightly important to Celestia that these people don't think that she's just now friends with her after that, weirdly. But it feels strangely important to have clarified that.
No, I don't. I get it.
Yeah. So
Also, it takes like 10 seconds in a message. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the old so Lucetta
Sit up straighter if I'm being posh.
is actually the one most willing to I've completely lost my original notes on what voice I gave Lucetta, so we're gonna go with a sort of refined type. Here we go. Lucetta. There we go. A sort of refined somewhere between Newmark and transatlantic-ish.
That sounds about right. Like, she's slightly transatlantic in my head, I think. It's been a while, though.
Would make sense.
Just sort of go, how about these people? So, like, take your time.
Yeah, unfortunately, a huge amount of my notes died at
fair.
one point.
We moved house a lot at one point.
Yeah. And then some of them went digital, and then the digital things died.
Oh, no.
So it's been an exciting time. It's been an interesting few years. Anyway, Lucetta, you happens to be hosting a soiree. And you are able to swagger your way into an invitation.
Party crash a bit, yeah.
You
I mean, not like
basically-
party crash, but
Yeah.
get invited.
You managed to get yourself invited. You remember these tricks from your old life.
Yeah.
And a few hints dropped in the right places. A suggestion,
Flirting with a few of the right people. Or
a
whatever,
reminder that you are a reminder that not only are you one of the heroes of the rebellion in your own right, you've very recently been seen cozying up to both the the new governor and General Appleblossom, is enough to
and Lady Grace, actually.
and indeed Lady Grace, is enough to get you to easily get you an invitation to this little cocktail party type affair. Lucetta, can you roll an insight check, please?
Oh, that's bad. 5. Rolling real well.
Recognizes you, greets you warmly, as befitting a hero of the rebellion, and welcomes you as like an absolute pleasure to have you along.
Yes,
to my
Celestia
little
Stardust. Nice to
tete-a-tete.
meet you. I don't think we've met, have we?
Oh, I believe I've seen you across a room, Lucetta Vandersar.
Delighted.
Of course, and well, if the I understand, she gestures to your many instruments. Of course, while we have entertainment here, I have no doubt that any number of my guests would appreciate it if you fancied a little performance at some point this evening.
Yes, of course. I mean, it's what I do. Of course, if that's the sort of thing your guests would enjoy? I don't want to, step on anyone's toes.
Oh, I find that society always enjoys the new.
I found that too.
Please, she snaps a finger at her fingers at some waiters, at a waiter who brings over drinks and the little tray of hors d'oeuvres just instantly.
Yeah.
Like, help yourself.
Thank you.
And perhaps you'd care. In fact, why don't you introduce you? Why don't you take a look at some of the paintings over here?
Of course, I do enjoy art.
Yeah, she kind of gently steers you away for a moment and then steps forward at, Master Stump, a pleasure to see you.
Stump is the governor.
Stump,
yes.
glancing
Who is
over your
quite
shoulder.
staunchly politically against her.
Glancing back, you see a much older-looking orc than the now deceased governor, Esther Stump, who you may recall died as a result of the gang war you started.
Yes. It's been a while. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Like, keep me updated. So this is...
You would guess
This is maybe her husband?
you're not sure
Or
at first.
brother, or...
You're not sure at first, but over the course of the evening, with that persuasion check, you work out. Lucetra's particularly is the most welcoming of the high society, because unlike, say, the old Stump and Jenks families, you aren't responsible directly or indirectly for the deaths of their politicians or gang or the heads of the gangs that supported them.
I play so dumb. Like, I'm so nice. Just like I'm doing the dead behind the eyes, charmed posh student who went to Eton and is very excited to meet everyone. That's the vibes are there.
And you play that
Gap year.
role well. There's
With the people who could be mad with me, that's who I am.
there's definitely sensing the undercurrent of the room. There is definitely a split. There is definitely a sense of those who knew those who were connected and know what went on in the lead up to the battle, and those who are connected in other ways and don't know what was going on under the surface.
Yeah, exciting.
However, this starts you talking and getting some information. So I'm just going to ask again. The Ebon Guard, I guess, specific information that you are trying to find out.
I mean, I guess what I could ask at this party is what would people know? I mean, I guess I'm sort of spicy rumour digging in a way. I'm sort of. I'm trying to find words.
You're going for general sightings.
Rumours, sightings, incidents, rumours of a lot of my folk anywhere nearby.
Got it. All right. That gives me something to go on. So
yeah. I mean. What had Quilena done when we'd last seen her?
the last
Just
time
got
you
off the
saw
ship, I think.
Yeah, she just got off the ship. Last time we saw her in person, she caused a diplomatic incident in Seoul, right?
yes,
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
trying to kidnap you. In fact,
I mean, just
Yeah, we didn't see her underground, did we?
yeah, for fun and flavour. No, we didn't see her underground.
No.
I don't think she was there for that arc.
no.
Yeah.
No,
Adam
she was
elsewhere.
notably on the
Adam was
surface.
there. Yeah. I say something like, yeah, I heard there was that girl who caused a bunch of shit in school. What was it? Queeriner? Something like that?
There's a bit of laughter from Luchetta. Do you know that does ring a bell? I think it was yes, there was when just as that whole business was boiling over there with the Sulian monarchy. I do hope it does appear that King Leon has recovered from his little spot of incontinence. But yes, there was.
Did he have some trouble?
I could tell you some entertaining rumors about him and a golden chamber pot.
That sounds very spicy.
But yes, actually, there is that does bring things to mind. I believe it was related to these mercenaries, the Ebony Watch, something like that.
Oh, the Ebony Watch. I know them. I think they're called that.
Well,
yeah, I think they're basically hired hands from where I come from. Big groups, from what I hear.
Yes, I mean, I've heard about them being employed in business interests here on occasion, especially over the last, more so in the last 10 years. Not usually around here, but I understand a couple of companies were brought into on permanent contracts 5-6 years ago down towards the Cotton States.
I didn't know that. I knew there was some over in Sewell, but you know.
It's an interesting thing, actually. There's rumor has it that they're actually very cozy with some of the old cotton barons, especially been setting. There is even a few, they say, some lodges of them, retired sorts or the like, living in Sunder.
What, retired Ebony Watch?
Certainly drow who I've heard know their way around a blade and a bow and a gun.
Oh, that's interesting. Let's go and say hello. Do you know where any particular spots?
Oh,
I've not met any drow in a really long time.
Well, I understand that you must have I understand from what I've heard about your country folk that you have quite the progressive fashion sense compared to them. So,
well, you know, you pick up some things. You go over to Sewell. You travel around a bit. You pick up your own style, don't you?
Of course. Sadly, I don't do a great deal of business with the Cotton States beyond the occasional imports. However, as a lot of my interests are in metallurgy style manufacturing. But the old textile families like the Stumps, they'd be the ones with the closest connections.
I don't say that in character. Great, cool. That's really great. Stumps. I'm literally just writing it down because I don't have a memory today. Good to know.
If they, I do believe that if you were likely to find any, if anyone was going to know about things happening on that side of the continent, they'd know more. But well, unfortunately, unless you can, I don't somehow think I'd be able to swing you an invite to their pool party in 3 days' time.
Oh, I wouldn't ask you to.
Celestia
Be a
goes
terrible
to a pool
imposition.
party.
She'd fucking love a pool party, you know. It should be a nightmare. Although pool party with like these kinds of posh people is not
Oh,
actually.
yeah.
Like a pool party with you lot should have a great time, but
Yeah.
this kind of thing is like
God, can you imagine if she bought Corzin and Scamp though?
this is literally why I've not involved you in this bit of the plot. I'm like,
It'd be
I
so
it's
funny.
implausible
It would be
that
terrible.
I would bring you. Like, I would not bring you to like high society parties because
I would put
God.
I'd put money on the fact the pool would not be filled with water by the end.
Definitely not. Jelly, maybe. Who knows?
That's the good end of the spectrum.
Yes, yeah.
I'm suddenly reminded of the time I wrote a chance card for my for a knockoff Monopoly game that just said, "Whoop, got too drunk and now the mansion's full of corpses."
Wasn't there like a body in the pool?
Yeah, body in the pool. It was a scandal card you could get.
It's a really good game.
Little Gatsby.
So my option at this party is to go talk to the person whose like Wi-Fi got killed or whatever. Do they know that? Is that like public knowledge?
It's not public knowledge. Like, here's the thing: you didn't kill Esther Stumpf. You started the gang war that got her killed.
Yeah.
And you eradicated the two most powerful gangs in there, undermining their ability, the ability of the old families to essentially fix the election. So they might know about that.
They might, yeah.
You did, like...
They don't know
You
about
are
somebody murdered.
famous-
That's different.
Yeah, I'd say that you are famous in normal and high society for your role as heroes of the revolution, heroes of the rebellion, and you are infamous in low society as the agents of the Fisher Kings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Enough so that the one person who bridged both made a red string map deciding that you were the cause of the corruption in Newmark.
We made a mess. Oh, who the fuck do I talk to now? Like, what do I do? I mean, I could try go talk to Stump. I mean, he's right there, right? He, they, he. Lovely.
And you, from chatting around the room, you find out, this is Governor Stump's father.
Father, okay. And she is dead, so we
Yes.
probably don't mention that.
This is,
How long ago did she die?
Oh, last month.
Oh, no, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a dick.
Yeah. So it's been like 2 weeks, if that. You were away for a week and a half. So yeah, it's been about 2 weeks.
Yeah, and he works in textiles.
The family
He doesn't work
owns
in
textiles.
He owns some textiles, yeah.
Yeah.
He has never worked in his life.
No, he's not working.
He
nearly
owns
enough,
a
yeah.
street of textile workshops.
Right, okay.
This is the money we're talking about here.
God, like, what question do I even fucking ask him?
Can I come to your pool party?
So you are I'll say that again with the persuasion check you rolled before for your
Yeah.
general performance in this party.
As a dickhead posh person, yeah.
Yeah. You do come out knowing that this is one. Wow. Okay, that was the German first name that came to mind. Okay, Kaiser Stumpf is his given
Cool.
name.
Okay.
The head of
Is Stump.
Yep.
Is Stump just how it sounds? Is it an F?
Yeah, Stump with an F.
Stump.
Yeah, Stump. Head of the Stump family. He is an orc in his could be 60s, could be 70s. Like kind of on that verge, kind of hard to tell. With grey skin with that slight bluish cast that you've come to associate with old money and sort of orcish
is that a
royalty.
thing?
I think it's a thing established like way earlier.
I just can't remember. It could
Yeah,
well be.
the Syrian nobility have a slightly bluish tint to the they have a kind of grey blue skin tone, and it is the source of the phrase blue blood in Calcinea.
Okay.
Their blood isn't blue, but like that's
I like it.
the slightly bluey grey tinting usually hints at some connection to the posh families. Grey blue skin, bald with a thin but well combed and styled beard. He is, certainly well dressed. He's not at the cutting edge of fashion, but it's a respectable style. It's that sort of comfortable, very nice clothing that isn't trying too hard.
Because it doesn't need to.
From people who are so rich they don't need to try.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like the posh lady and just like a beige jumper that she's thrown on. Like
Yes.
kind of vibe. Yeah, got you. Cool. Cool. Politically, the Stumps were like really opposite to us, weren't they?
So the Stumps
It's
were...
been so long.
No, it's
like...
fine. So just as a reminder, the Stumps were... the Stumps and the old orcish style families were pushed up by the the Jenks were pushed up by the Bowstring Boys, who were the orc gang. Then there was the I think it was the Five Families gang. What were they called? Yeah, the Five Friars gang.
Yeah.
Which was which supported the halfling families. And you got both of those gangs destroyed.
Yes.
So there was a big
we did.
sort of political fallout. Esther Stumpf, the governor, was basically propped up by the Bowstring Boys because both of those major gangs were politically intimidating voters because it
and
was...
the bowstrings were orcs, weren't they?
Yeah. Because the voting system was open election hustings.
I don't even know if it's going to come up. I was just like, I can't remember what we disagree on, and it's like everything. Basically, yeah, cool, because they were very not revolution, weren't they?
It wasn't even that they were that in revolution.
It was just that they'd held the fucking block forever.
Yeah, they held power forever. They were on top, and they were very much skimming the cream off, but from by virtue of that position. In a sense, they were your opponents because you allied with the underdogs, who you had more in common with than you did the established power structures.
Yes. Cool. Sorry.
No,
I just
it's
don't know what
fine.
to say to this person at all. I guess we'll just start and see what happens. Cracking canapes, aren't they?
Kaiser Stumpf, who you've cornered at the at the canapé table as he's considering some little puff pastry things filled with minced with some manner of minced mushroom. Actually, I'm going to off this. there's a moment where he almost flinches for a moment before he it's just for an instant before he regains his poise.
Has he got any rings on?
Does he have rings on? Yes, he does. He has a wedding ring.
Just a wedding ring. Okay.
Think
about it.
Yeah, it's a plain brass. Not brass. It's a plain gold band.
Definitely gold. Yeah.
A plain gold band. Looks. It's got the. It looks. Like. Honestly, like it looks lovely, but it's just got the many small scratches and dints that wedding ring gains from being worn for decades. You can tell just from a glance of it that he's never taken it off.
Probably not a wizard ring though, which is good. Also, those like permanent ones are uncommon.
But there is a brief moment of blinking before where he flinches and then recovers. I find they are acceptable.
Yeah, I suppose folk might have a bit less of a taste for mushrooms up here.
Well, I suppose you must have quite the variety where you come from.
I have no idea. It's mushroom everything down there. Mushroom wine. You name it.
Mushroom.
The wine's not great, to be honest with you. But, other mushrooms. Nice.
I have heard words to that effect before. Well, if...
What is the face that he's doing? Is he just upset that I'm here?
Roll an insight check.
Okay. I imagine probably yes, because, why am I so shit at this day? It's not a good day for insight. It's a 10.
Okay, 10 average. So you can tell that he's glancing around. He's looking for an out.
He wants to leave.
But you can't tell whether he just doesn't like you.
Valid.
And is looking for an escape from an awkward moment, or if there's anything deeper.
I'm gonna have a little looky in his brain.
Okay, sleight of hand, please.
I'm gonna get thrown out. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Sleight of hand. 19. That's decent. Thanks, courage.
All that training paid off.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gave me proficiency.
Yeah.
Because of courage and the fucking coin trick.
So you lower your you kind of hide a hand under the canapé plate that you're holding.
Yeah.
And flick it, and the rainbow spirit makes a little connection.
Just scratch the side of my head to get I don't know.
And you scratch the side of your head to do the Professor X thing. And
I don't keep it for the whole time. I just while it's connecting.
Okay, I guess you will. You get a little bit of thoughts.
I don't die.
No, you get. I cannot believe Lucetta invited this creature.
Okay.
Oh, we're going straight in with creature.
Really not like me. Okay, cool.
Time to crash a pool party.
Am I your first drow? Sorry, I'm just curious. You're looking at me I don't know, like I'm unusual. I suppose I am unusual, but I wondered if it was the drow bit or the rest.
You are certainly a unique individual. Again, people don't always think in words, so you get some brief. You get brief flash, a brief flash of in his head of encounters with. Roll me a d20, please.
14.
Okay. you get a brief flash in your head of encounters with 3 different drow that you have and they're hazy. They're just like momentary recollections. One meeting one on an unfamiliar set of in an unfamiliar wharf, who seemed to be wearing not a uniform. Actually, it would be wearing sort of heavy like traveler's clothes, more reminiscent of just a seafarer, with sunglasses similar to your own. Well, actually, yours are red, so it'd be black.
No, mine are
yours
black.
are black. Yeah, okay,
black
so
and just
black.
like round.
I'm just thinking of your glasses. Yeah,
You're thinking of the
round,
ones that I wear
black
IRL.
glasses, similar to you, and another another walking with this time. I think the first one female, the second one is a female, and 2 more walking alongside in a conversation with other sort of Sulian rich folk nearby, and a third flash of what appears to be a hunting trip with muskets with a male drow that flash into his
No one
mind.
I recognise.
Roll an insight check.
So
See
good
if
at
there's
those
anyone that
today.
you can like.
Oh my god, just can't roll insight. Like, I'm just like, she's just gone to a posh people party and she's so busy like masking that she's just forgotten how to read people. That's a 7.
No. The images are like flash.
Too thick.
He's just remembering. He's just having like that reflexive memory of encountering people without enough focus or detail for you to recognize. Like these drow aren't faceless, but the features aren't sharp because he's not focusing on the memory. It's just a response to your question. Yes. Which I think he's saying, like, is it just me? It's like, you certainly do seem to be a unique individual. But I am travelled and I have met drow before.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to assume you weren't travelled. It's just, you don't get a lot of my folk around here. Like, I heard there might be some elsewhere. I heard something about lodges, but...
Actually, I'm going to say what he says first. All right. Well, rumor is a fine thing. Okay, so you get a little bit of wording and a little bit of imagery.
Okay.
The thought about when you prompt lodges, there's a little bit of mental wording of she's not with the ones to the south, and a flash again of walking. It's the same drow as from the third memory flash. Like walking, this time carrying some bagged hairs, just like over a shoulder, and like a flash of a conversation. You don't hear the words. It's just the memory
a flash
of it
past,
happening.
yeah.
With what appears to be like a sort of hunting lodge in the distance that actually is more like a compound with an extended series of cabins and the like built around it.
Okay. No, I just haven't met many of my lot since I came here, you know. Just travelling, doing the grand tour. But, yeah, I heard about a group in a lodge to the south. Just wondered. Might be nice to visit.
I'm afraid I can't help you there.
Oh, well, thank you anyway.
Like, his private thoughts. The fuck I am doing anything for this bitch.
I think persuading him is a losing battle. And whilst I could do a suggestion, I think there are probably better ways. And also, there's only so much you can get out of somebody with, like, suggestion, and, like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like the most reliable. And also, then he'll, like, know I've done a suggestion on him in 8 hours. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's it's like just throwing a bomb and then leaving, and in 8 hours it explodes. So, like, if I can avoid that, I'm going to. But yes,
It's actually a good question. Does suggestion... If a suggestion is subtle enough...
I mean, I think...
I
don't know.
I'm just going to look at the wording.
I would assume you would be, but I don't know.
Was there specifically in the wording that you have to make a suggestion that seems reasonable to a person?
It does have to seem reasonable, yeah.
If the suggestion... Yeah, so there's nothing that says you realise you have been magically charmed at the end of a suggestion.
You might just be like, why did I do that?
But if you ask someone to do something that they would... where they go later...
What the fuck? Yeah.
Why the fuck did I do that? And don't have an explanation like, was I drunk? Was I just...
He's not pissed.
Like,
either,
was I drunk? Was I really horny and they were attractive? Like, you know when you've done something, like, and then, like, just
hours
done something,
later,
you're
you're like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
Why did I do that?
Yeah.
Like, or a classic one being, why did I sign up to that subscription?
Oh my god, we've all done that. Yeah,
totally.
totally.
Like, if it would provoke a, why the fuck did I do that?
I mean, he's
that
literally
can't
just said,
be...
I would never do anything to help this bitch, so, like...
That doesn't have an explanation that they can attribute to some sort of rational cause. People will smell a rat.
Yeah.
However, there is nothing in the wording of suggestion that says you can't do a suggestion on someone, and so long as they never figure it out, they'll never figure it out.
He's not super pissed or anything, is he?
He's looking at him. He's got a glass of sparkling wine. I'm just going to roll this. He's drunk a third of it, and seems
not much. Yeah.
and seems to be like casually nursing it in the practiced way of someone who, like, at most wants to get a little buzzed, but does not want to risk getting drunk.
I think I'm not going to suggestion him. I don't think I want to. I don't think it's quite right. Remind me where Leah is in relation to where he would be. She's not very far south, is she?
No, she's down in Thunder's Watch. I mean, like, the Stump family are based here, but she and Michael are based in Thunder's Watch, which is essentially one province to the south.
Yeah.
Whereas the sort of Cotton Kingdom, the Cotton Barons, strictly speaking, there's a group of them to the north as well, but they're below. They're in sort of, I think the topmost area is like St. Gregorsville, so they are quite a bit to the south, comparatively.
We're not the kind of thing she'd have connections to either, right?
Yeah. Well...
Although, it's also the kind of thing that she might have been keeping an eye out for. Okay, I'm going to follow that thought and see where it takes me.
All right.
If that's okay.
That's quite all right.
So I'll bid this man goodbye. Well, I'll let you get back to your evening. Thanks for saying hello. Charmed.
Of course. Goodbye.
Bye.
He turns and moves away from you and keeps away from you for the rest of the night.
I don't think I try again. I think I'm good.
However,
But I have more information than I started with. There are retired ones in a lodge to the south, wherever that is.
Indeed.
So that's a start.
So, yes, you get hold of... so that is information you get. I will say then... so what's the next angle you wanted to pursue?
I think I'll send to Leah.
All right.
Or dream to her, I guess.
I'm going to say for the sake of an extended conversation...
Dream?
You probably dream.
Yeah.
So... Oh.
I ask her first, just for the record, because she's my ex, and I'm not in so much of a state that I would forget to ask and just turn up.
You send her.
Also, I'm clear on what I want.
Yeah.
I could do with some help with this issue.
You send her a sending. She's amenable to it, and the pair. And after a short but not. One moment. A short but not astonishingly eventful trip through the Dreamfold. There's a brief period where you encounter, where you get wrapped up in a strange journey involving involving a dog in a dress, I want to say a wimple. Basically, when you see the medieval princess in a storybook outfit,
Maid Marian vibe,
yeah, with the conical hat with the
the pointy hat,
the pointy hat with the veil,
Right.
amazing.
Yeah, so
Princess Doggo. Is that her name?
You don't get Princess Doggo's name, so you just mentally term her Princess Doggo.
That's what I've named her.
There's a brief point during your journey where you travel for a time with a series of armored dogs, dog knights, on their way to slay some sort of slay some sort of beast that have been sent off by the princess, and they're very companionable entities. All got sort of gruff voices like this. One of there's a big sort of Saint Bernard one, with a really overly tall Great Dane with a huge sword. There's this one little terrier that's kind of looks a bit old and grizzled and is Scamp,
a bit wonky.
Yeah, and is going on with them and is using a stick. And then you have this one pug that's got a mustache for some reason. That's just in strongly reminds you of Sabnet for reasons you can't quite place. But after that brief encounter,
we have a small quest. Yeah,
you have a small quest. You accompany them on their way to, and they part ways.
That's our next one shot.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, they part ways with you before entering, before approaching what appears to be a giant striped black and orange cat sleeping in a box. It was presumably the beast they've come to confront. And make your way over to and they drop you off at a tourney ground where other dogs are riding giant hamsters and tilting at each other. And sat in
dog hamster joust,
and you kind of follow the little you follow the strand of the Rainbow Spirit to a little bubble and take a seat on the stands amongst the other next to Leah. Yeah, and you enter Leah's dream.
You watch a lot of sports in your dreams.
I actually play a lot of sports in my dreams as well.
Oh, fair. A sports thing. I didn't see that for you. That's it. Hello, by the way. Sorry, it was.
Hello.
Sorry, it was the dogs riding hamsters. I just literally couldn't think about anything else for a second there, because there's a lot going on there, right? No judgment, by the way. Mine are fucking insane. So, yeah.
I hadn't really noticed how strange it was until just now.
I find that people get like that when I come and see them in dreams. They're like going along like the dog hamster riding is normal, and then I get there and they're like, what the fuck am I doing? How are you?
Well,
Good.
all things considered, I think we got back about half a week ago.
Where from? I'm so sorry. Where did you go?
From Newmark, we came up for the battle with
of
all
course.
of the soldiers.
Yep. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry. It's yeah.
No,
That's embarrassing.
I'm glad to see you, especially because last I heard you'd gone up to a mansion and then vanished.
We did do that. Yeah.
But it looks like you've come back all right.
A solid 20-second pause.
Intact.
Yeah. Alive. Certainly alive. Definitely that. Yeah. Maybe let's just leave that subject just over there somewhere. Yeah.
That's okay. We can do that.
Yeah.
But you mentioned that you were looking for information on something.
Yes. Looking for information on the Avantgarde, darling.
That absolutely makes sense.
Yeah. And, Quilena and Adram. Maybe my mum. Whatever. Yeah.
Lady Rothnell's likely to show up?
Yeah. I think so.
Right. Well, I can get in touch with the... I have been keeping an ear to the ground with the Bell Founders.
Yeah. I've heard something. I don't know if this helps at all. There's apparently... It's not very specific. The guy who I was trying to get information out of really doesn't like me. So, yeah.
What a surprise.
Fuck you. Ow. No, I'm a pain, it's fair. I heard something about they have lodges to the south with a bunch of retired ones, apparently. Near the sort of cotton states.
I have heard a rumour, actually, that would match up to that. Or rather, Michael has. There have been... He's been connecting up with a lot of old Percival van der Sar's
That would track, yeah.
connections across the continent, including a number to the south of the cotton states. And they have... And he's also been going through some of Percival's old journal entries. Those were included amongst the many things that Michael apparently inherited out of spite, though, as we now know or suspect, that was all arranged by the Five-Pointed Star and the like.
Yeah.
So,
Leah's aware that that's... Is she aware that that's the Rothnells?
I don't think anyone's actually told Leah at any point that the
Celestia would
Five-Pointed
realise
Star is the Rothnells.
Oh, fuck. About that.
What?
Turns out they just took the letter R out, darling.
There's a pause where she remembers that the Rothnell symbol is a
she would
five-pointed
remember.
star with an
An
R in
R
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she definitely would, because she's got it branded into her.
Well, she did.
No,
Well, she did.
We
She did. We removed it, but she had it branded into her. Just the moment where her eyes widen.
Sorry, there really wasn't a gentle way to say that, so I just said it. I thought you should probably know. Yeah, turns out. Yeah.
She just stares into the middle distance for a moment. Are you telling me your mother orchestrated events so that my husband inherited a sizable portion of someone's wealth?
Fuck, yeah, I guess so.
No, that makes sense, because from what we discovered, the point was to control that wealth through him.
Yeah.
And those resources.
But she didn't prepare for you. Or him.
Or you.
Frankly.
Or Michael, for that matter.
Yeah.
Have you seen head or tail of that dwarf since?
Which dwarf? I'm so sorry.
The
Out
one...
of character, which
the
dwarf?
one you gashed.
Okay, yeah, I remember. Funnily enough, I haven't, actually.
Well, let's hope that never comes back.
Oh, it's a shame it wasn't a bit later. I can do it for longer now.
Oh,
Yeah.
good to know. Regardless, that would make sense, especially with the connections that Percival had. Okay, so the lodge you're talking about, lodges, plural.
Okay.
Percival was a member of a series of was a member of a few different private clubs, but included amongst that was one that operated a number of hunting lodges to the south.
Hunting, yes, that was involved. Yes.
Those hunting lodges started acquiring drow experts as at first as guides and hunters, fellow hunters, and then just as members about 2 decades ago. And since then, they've slowly been filtering in.
So they tried to make out that it was just sort of coincidentally they were all ending up there. Is that the vibe?
Yes, there are... I haven't known to look for it, so I suppose it's something I can start looking into. But it wouldn't surprise me if there is already if there are... There can't be that many, but there must be more drow in the southern part of the colonies than we think there are. That have probably been there for a long time.
Okay.
With the Bell, I remember the Bell founders noticing that a lot of Ebon Guard units were having their contracts bought out and being moved towards Sunder.
Yeah, I heard
within the last 6 months. Probably ever since Seoul, actually, since that stabilized, which would make sense given how much your sister fucked things up there.
Yeah, I think she might be in trouble for that.
Well, not to take credit away from how much you probably fucked things up for them as well.
Yeah, a fair amount, I think.
So,
You don't know where, do you?
I recall something about the countryside around St. Gregorsville.
Oh, that would check.
Being a key part of that. It would actually coincide with some of the... might just about coincide with the timing of Saul losing St. Gregorsville and the surrounding colonies to Assyria.
That would track, wouldn't it? Yes.
Which, I mean, I don't think your mother orchestrated that. Saul very much has the Kraken to thank for losing that particular war.
No, she didn't orchestrate the Kraken.
But she could have taken advantage of the changeover.
Yeah, that would be a bit of an opening, wouldn't it? There are some things that I'm purposely not telling you here. Not because I don't trust you, but because I think it's probably worse for you to know them. I'm telling you.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you them, but I'm telling you so that if you know me really well and I'm getting a vibe that you're probably going to be able to tell that I'm keeping things from you, I want you to know that it's because I want you to be safe from them.
So you're not keeping a secret from me, the fact that you're keeping secrets from me.
Yeah.
I appreciate the honesty.
Felt best.
She nods. I think that is the most I can really give you without more leads to draw on.
That is helpful.
I can certainly take a look into things over the next couple of weeks.
You wouldn't mind. That'd be lovely.
So probably worth dreaming to me again in the future, and especially if you find any more leads.
I will keep you updated.
Or things you want to look into. I mean, I was going to ask how you're doing, but it sounds like that's a little complex.
Yeah. Yeah, quite complicated. How's Michael?
Well,
Good.
he's a lot... He's not like his old self. But
That's fair.
he's a lot more together and a lot... There's a confidence he's regained since getting rid of what was her name? I think it was Runecarver, the dwarf who was trying to hold him by the strings.
Yeah.
It's not a position he's ever wanted to be in, but he's stepped into the role well. I'm proud of him.
Good. Sounds like you should be.
I mean, it's a relief in some ways that he's at his heart, he is still the man I married.
I'm glad. Genuinely, you look happy. It
Thank
suits
you. She looks over and winces at a dog being lunced off the hamster.
Oh, that was brutal.
Unhamstered.
Woof. You think it's going to be cute, don't you? Fucking hell.
Yeah. Oh.
You're funny.
And says a nearby dog sitting in the stands, just like it's like one of those really like actually no, it's a bloodhound. It's got really like droopy eyes, just like shakes his head. Woof.
Yeah.
Like you see a handful of chihuahuas in nurses' outfits running over.
Oh.
So cute. Ah. This got very strange. Well, I should probably let you sleep. I imagine you've probably got things to do.
That's a good point. I'm not actually sleeping exactly when we're...
Kind of not. Yeah. It's a sort of really active sleep where you don't feel like you've slept afterwards. If I do it too long, I find.
No, that makes sense. Give give Scamp and Corzin, both Corzins, my love.
I will do.
And you take care.
Thanks.
She gives you a smile and looks back and winces as the nurse chihuahuas start dragging the injured-looking dog knight.
Yeah, I think I gently unravel.
Yeah.
As one does from a dream. Yeah. Just getting an urge not to stay too long.
And I'm going to say that with that and what you're able to, that is probably as much information as you are able to gather
That is fair.
about the Ebon Guard this downtime. So as these sort of events conclude, half a week has passed. You will come together. We started this on the 6th, so you will. So you come together on the 7th,
11th?
12th.
Oh.
I'm going to add 5 on from 12.
Right.
Of 5 on from 7, which is 12. The 12th of it's First Flurries, not Falling Leaves.
First Flurries,
Yeah,
yes.
First Flurries.
Yeah.
Of First Flurries is where we are going to pick up next time with an invitation from the party to go speak to Odinone and his uncle and cousin.
Fun.
And that is where we will pick up next time. Thank you all very much for playing. Thank you all very much for listening. And farewell from all of us here at Flintlocks and Fireballs, Fair Seas, and Natural 20s.
I've got maps from far and wide, and also ways to get sky high. Those isles are deadly, hard as nails, but worth it for a sweet wyvern tale.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.